Welcome in, everybody. We're finally live with the VESL Season 2, and we're right into game. My name is Pyro J. I'm here with Novanta. This is day 3. And check it out, Novanta. We are so close to our first goal between Enlo and Green Level. These North Carolina and high school teams already at it.
You know it's going to be an action-packed game. We had no time for introductions formally. We want to get right into the action. Gotta thank you so much for joining us live on this Wednesday. And of course, I'm being joined with the man himself, Pyro J. I am lucky.
That's the spirit. I think we're lucky just to be seeing these guys out here, right now on the field. This is a group stage, folks. You got 4 teams in your group, and one does not make it out, so every match has that level of importance. Every best of 3, you've got to make it happen. That's why you can see all 6 battle cars trying to make it work for that first goal. Enlo appears to be having a majority of the possession. They're really working this ball. They're really making Green Level sweat drip down their forehead here, Nova.
Yeah, absolutely. Enlo in the blue-green level, ironically in the orange side. And we wonder about what's going to be the first team that's going to strike. What we're seeing now is already that bunching that says that we know what your plan is, even though everyone has that corner strategy. It really comes down to who's being more brave to try up the middle to get that ball past the net.
Already, Green Level getting that chance here. The ball's right in front of the net. Somebody's got to dive into this, and eventually it does happen. Needy Muscles with the first goal of the day.
Well, a little bit of a touch, a little bit of finesse is all you need, and that ball was just aching to find it home, and that was slotted in there. That's how it's done. It won't be the prettiest goal, but definitely it says we can start over with the ball being set with a 1-goal advantage.
Every goal has a goal explosion, no matter how you get it there. So Green Level, happy to see it happen, and in search of a second already. Possession kicks off early for them. Needy Muscles, that striker, sends it into the corner as Jack tries to find it away off the backboard. 2 defenders there to try and keep the ball out of this dangerous zone right in front of their net. Needy Muscles is going to be denied of doing just that.
Yeah, Lady Muscle was denied there, but again, these are the kind of things you want to see just being seeded and built on, right? When you have those shots on frame, if you're lucky to go with the net like that, I was going to put this whole big song and dance about planting seeds for game 2, but well, you know what? You don't need that for scoring right now. It's 2-0.
We've got some very fertile soil here on, I don't know if this is Manfield or DFH. I should know my maps better, Nova. But these trees, they're growing quick, and we already got goals aplenty here. Green Level in, start out with the possession, but they're kicking off with the chances. How about a third for Green Level? It's Sensei.
Well, that is the very definition of a juggernaut. Took forever to get goal 1, about half the time to get goal 2, and half the time to get goal 3. It is going to be an avalanche if Enlo does not get in the game here. 3 up, 3-0.
Accelerated pace. I can't imagine what comes next year. We're not even past that halfway mark, but Green Level back at it. A strong kickoff for this team. Thurman Chestnut not able to get to the ball, but a boost steal there, which should allow them to continue this possession, continue the chances, and continue the goal scoring. Needy Muscles is back at it.
So we saw basically a replay of that last goal. This one is basically drawing the defense out with one side of the shot with the follow-up on the opposite side. This time it was basically 12 and 8 p.m. on the clock. Doesn't matter what the angle was, it was effective. 4-0.
Wow. And low. It's time to get your footing back on the pitch here. The defense having difficulty setting on transition out of these kickoff opportunities. And yeah, nothing needs to be standardized here straight off the get-go. But once you put yourself in positions like this, with one man back, having a lot of difficulty reading the next shot, it's just going to end up like this every time for Green Level.
Yeah, unfortunately, we saw it from Big Britain Club's angle. That was the only card that was out of position. You did what you can. You know exactly where you need to be, just didn't get the touch on the ball, and that was pretty much easy for the second shot on frame there. Enlo has the IQ, they have the knowledge, but there's something about the coordination that's lacking right now. And even though they have 2 minutes to start something going, it needs to be quick.
Ooh, something was quick. All right, the turnaround for Green Level. A 6th goal now for this team. And Needy Muscles, I mean, it almost feels like they just need a little time to settle in, to get confident. And at that point, the the hole in the dam has broken the floodgates loose.
Yeah, absolutely. To take an analogy of the good sport of boxing, a lot of times in a round, you just get absolutely wailed upon, and you take the full 60 seconds to think about what your strategy is going to be, because whatever you have isn't quite working. We're seeing a little bit of defense try as they might. It's not clean, and now it's keeping it open for not just shots coming out of the sky, but rebound shots and second chances like this one.
You know what? And there's part of the Enlo's defense that I'm still impressed with. I know that sounds bizarre, but normally when it's shot after shot, it is just a wide open net. You know, there's no one home. The ability to get on the defensive line just isn't there. But Enlo, they have the reinforcements available. They're knowledgeable enough. You mentioned it yourself, Navanta, the IQ, the game sense, it's there. It's more so that execution. It's more so that momentum of your own car to be speedy enough to get to these saves and turn it around that just needs to be tuned up.
Yeah, I'm with you. When you have so many opportunities like this, where your shots on frame aren't going in and your defenses are kind of wild, it just says you're going too fast for your own britches. Doesn't matter if you're talking about battle cars, if you're talking about actual cars in IRL, you never want to pilot your vehicle faster than you can handle. That's the only thing I would say is really affecting Enlo right now is the speed or lack of control at their speed. But a little bit more than a minute to go, down 7. The idea now is to get something on the board to show your opponents you know how to put it past the net.
Let's see if they can do just that 1 minute to showcase that offensive brilliance as Big Britain Club able to cut off the shot there from Sensei Boa. It's Maddie's P who's going to have to work it off the backboard and allow the rest of the team to surge upfield. This ball is loose in the opponent's corner, and there's got to be someone from Enlo to follow this up. Instead, Sensei Boa given too much time upon the ball. Big Britain Club, is there a touch? Not quite. Follow from Thurman is going to punish.
Well, it was pretty risky there. Everyone was drawn out a bit too late. A lot of space that was open, and that is the dagger if it wasn't 4 goals prior. Wow.
Wow is right, and I think with that game just about decided, we are going to switch off to our other best of 3 that's going on at the same time, folks. We like to keep you hot off the press. We like to keep you on your tippy toes here on the broadcast. We're taking it to Shelby A and Piedmont Charter B. That's an A team versus a B team here, Novanta. 2 minutes to go already.
Let's see if a stream buff is in order for Piedmont. Down by 3, but less than 2 minutes to go. More than enough time to chip away at that lead, but it has to be something smart. It has to be something indefinite, and that could have been one right there, but no. That is Shelby with the 4th goal, and that is 4-0.
Spoken so much about how players are in position, either on defense, well, this time it's on offense. Great positioning there coming out from SDSTE 4896. Just making it work. Just in position for the backboard pass, gets a cheeky angle, and Shelby A team, we're starting to see why they've got the tools to gather such a lead that they have now.
Yeah, you know, sometimes something a comfortable lead happens a lot more in real sports because no lead is comfortable in Rocket League. But you know, when you're feeling your teammates, you know exactly where they're going to be. It almost feels like you're playing in a different mode altogether. It's the witching hour, about 80 seconds left to go. 4 goals down for Piedmont. I know they have an opportunity here, but I think what they're doing, or what they're not doing, is linking up with those passes in the mid-pitch to really stretch that defense.
Oh, how about some team bumps, if not passes? They connected in some way here, Novanta. Just maybe not the way they drew it up.
Hey, it's Rocket League or it's bumper cars, but just wrangling there. There was no one there to put that ball out of the net. And, well, it doesn't have to be super strong or super fast. It has to be past that line, and that's what it was, 5-0.
See if we can get those collisions on the ball or on their opponents here for Piedmont instead of in their own net. Speaking of which, Slovak Mex credited with the goal on the kickoff off a mishap of the Shelby defense.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. A cascade, a perfect storm of errors and comical numbers, but hey, a goal is a goal. Yeah, you're in this one. Now, you've shown Shelby you know how to score. It's a best of 3. I think this game is pretty much decided barring something miraculous. You can use that momentum for game 2.
That's right. That's something we didn't see out of the team from the last game, is something to show for. Something on the score sheet that says, hey, He put something in the net. This is a little bit special, though. Unity Reborn, of course, for Shelby A. They've dominated this game. They want a swift response to ensure that their dominance is in order.
Yeah, that's something called stopping the bleeding, right? You don't want to get your opponent back into the game because you know what momentum is. We just talked about momentum 20 seconds prior. So what you do is slip by one or even two members of the defense and make sure that gap is restored. 45 seconds ago, 6-1. We're so close. We pack it up for Rio.
We just got word that 10-1 was that final score of game one for our teams of Enlo and Green Level. So Shelby, what do you got in store to get 4 more to meet what Enlo was able to provide? It is Slovak Mexo trying to get a second goal for Piedmont Charter B team, and that one came close. Look at this team fire up in the final seconds.
Yeah, you got to put that speed on pace, but you're absolutely right, though. How about hearing that news that a potential opponent or other team is scoring so many goals in the game? Is there a pressure on you to have as much of goal efficiency? And that could have been number 7. It almost is, and it is number 7. We're going to Manaus, baby.
Oh my goodness, how many darts do you gotta throw at the board to hit the bullseye? A lot of darts flying free, but one car says I'm the finishing factor. Jax for the 7th goal, and Shelby A, maybe it's not 10, but boy, is it a commanding win.
Hey, nothing wrong with Brazils. We say that because of what it shows about how you dominate an opponent on both sides of the ball. So 7 goals ain't nothing to sniff at.
Not at all. Shelby A team are your winners along with Enlo, but Shelby racking up the scoreboard here. It's not just those 7 goals, it is the shot advantage. 13-1. That speaks to the pressure, the possession, the domination on the field that truly they had. Piedmont Charter B team gonna need to put a lot of work in to get back at Shelby in that game too, but I believe we're switching games. Let's catch it right back to Enlo and Green Level, who by all accounts is actually closer, Novanto. We just popped in for a first goal.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about the goal scoring hangover. This happens when you score a lot of goals against an opponent and the next game comes and you feel like you don't have that option on your controller anymore. Enlo had a 9-goal advantage in game 1, and now they're looking at a 1-goal deficit.
How about that for the old switcheroo? Something really smacked these players into reality and said, if we don't get to win it now, well, it's gonna be now or never. So, Enlo, what can you do to keep this game close and keep players like Needy Muscles from scoring an absurd amount of goals? Jack has this ball up to the midfield, a front flick as well, and that was almost in. A ton of power behind that one, but just off the mark.
Yeah, a bit impressive, the speed of Jack, no pun intended. If you know, you know. But more importantly, we're talking about the different kind of strategies that a team has to employ of being down. Green Level's keeping that ball on the ground, not trying anything fancy with the aerial stuff, not doing anything with the wall stuff. This is the complete opposite of their game plan in game 1.
It's switched up entirely, and it's working so far, at least for Enlo, to keep this game close. They do need that equalizer. We did get word that they scored 1 in game 1. We just weren't able to see it. What is going to be that factor that puts them in position? Big Britain Club, what a cutoff, just in time there to intercept the shot taking from Green Level. Jack here to clear, but I think Green Level were keen to it. They were positioned on the midfield, ready to combat it. Right to their opponent's backboard. Jack positioned on just that platform and able to kick that ball away. Sensei Boa, high touch. Jack, a tap on the ball, and it's just light enough to allow the ball to score.
You know what? That right there is one of those hard life lesson goals, meaning try as you might, sometimes you'll fail anyway. Full stretch, did all you could, but the ball had the backspin and got walked into the goal there. It was unfortunate, but it counts the same.
See what Green Level are able to take advantage of this. They're starting to stir up the momentum. You can see the waves start to crash on the shoreline a little harder, and we might just see another explosion here, unless it's the save of Jack. Keen to get that goal line defense just a bit better and make those important saves.
That Jack has a little bit more focus than most teams are giving the credit for, because I think a lot of teams would have given up on that drive, but that full stretch is very important to keep them within 2. 90 seconds have gone, so there is not much time. But to get 2 goals in a minute has been done. We've seen it plenty of times. They're very much still in this.
It's entirely feasible here, but you've got to beat players like Sensei Boa to make it happen. Right off the counter attack, Sensei transitions from a corner touch to a big goal.
Well, you know what? I got to give Sensei Bo a lot of credit. I think a lot of people would have tried to stop, slow it down, show a little dribbling action, but saying no, the power, the flick, and to put an exclamation point in this one to force that game 3 is a statement goal.
It's really impressive to see. Green level, they haven't had this same commanding lead this time around, but goals are goals. 3-goal lead, certainly something, but it might turn to 2. Jack, another half-court line shot. Just a miss there. If that ball gets a little towards being between the uprights, Jack is going to pop off. Maybe this is the chance that he needed. No, that one saved as well. And although it may have been high, it is still a good signal of the offensive potential that Enlo has.
May have been high. If a goal was on top of a goal, it still would have missed. Talking about just it was high, but forget me rambling and jaw-jacking. We have our 4th goal there, Pyro. It's 4-0.
Nothing too high here. Let's at least agree on that. This one manages to get under the crossbar after the defensive lineman's touch. It's just some of those attempted saves that are not translating to a turnaround. Instead, Enlo steering it towards their own net. They're going to get 20 more seconds to play in this series, but it feels like a foregone conclusion. Big Britain Club backtracking, not quick enough. Sensei Boa still more to say.
I know we talked about this ad nauseum, but I have to put an extra button on this one. When you have those shots on frame and you have that block or put a fender on the ball and it still goes in, I think those do more damage to the player's psyche and team psyche. Oh man, sorry guys, I could have had this. Oh man, sorry I was in position and I missed. And I do think it becomes a slippery slope for Enlo. So this 60-second break has to be critical for them to get themselves back into the game.
Oh, needy muscles yet again. How about it? Beautiful bullet of a shot. Again, still more to say. Just a bang at Enlo defense. Again, caught off guard. You know, we saw this same goal disparity happen the last time around. And Needy Muscles was that player to score and score and score. And every goal certainly counted. There you have it, folks. Green level, a second win in this best of 3 to set them far apart from Enlo.
Yeah, when you see 2 games like this where the pendulum swings so much, we really talk about concentration. Are all teams in sync with each other and knowing where their opponent needs to be? That's maybe a philosophical question, but now it's a best of 1. So you got to put that all out the window now and go back to what worked for you in your respective game to give yourself a bit of an advantage.
Oh, we're transitioning straight into the other game again, keeping things hot and fresh and very quick. Speaking of quick, Jax up the field very quickly for Shelby's A team. Coming up against your Piedmont Charter B team. This is Shelby, and if they get one more win, they will win this best of 3. It seems likely, especially as Piedmont is getting bumped into their own net.
Yeah, with the 5-1 scoreline looking very much Shelby's game to lose, but how many times have we seen that? A team pretty much having the game in hand, watching that game slip away through those very fingers. Less than a minute to go, or about a minute to go here. Shelby with 5, looking easily for the number 6.
Seems to be that way. They've got to make a shot occur, though, and Jax off of little boost can't make it happen. Unity takes one shot, but it fires right off the post. SDSTE, what do you got? A lot of boost there on the midfield grab. A pass off the backboard. Maybe a shot as well. Unity, the strength isn't enough on the defensive line. Shot goes wide. Shelby's A team still striking, but not quite advancing to that 6.
Yeah, not quite advancing it doesn't mean you have to do it. Like I'm always a fan of managing the clock when you have a lead like that, because I've seen too many goals being conceded when someone goes, let's go for 6, let's go for 7, when you have that 4-goal advantage. I'm not saying be boring. I'm not saying park the cars and take the keys out the ignition, but you don't have to go full tilt if you don't want to.
That's right. That's right. You earned your spot on the throne, in a way. You're able to kick back, relax, and maybe have somebody pull up a step stool for you to let those feet up. Shelby's A team. The red carpet's been rolled out as they will win this best of 3 against Piedmont Charter B team. I do like what the B team has provided here. Hopefully there's more from Piedmont Charter, but there you have it. Shelby A team wins their best of 3, and they'll move on with a better standing at their group stage.
Yeah, very comprehensive and emphatic victory, and I can't wait to see what they have next against a stronger opponent. But cheers, GG's to Piedmont. You put up a fight, especially in that first game.
Yeah, there you have it, folks. Post-game stats tell the story. 7 shots, 5 goals. very efficient for Shelby's A-team offense. That is a team that is definitely worthy of keeping an eye on. And folks, you thought we were done? We're not. The action continues here for the group stages. We are moving on to a new group. This is Group B, Lincoln Charter versus Gaston EC. And Navanta, I was casting some of these games earlier on the other VESL stream, and I saw Lincoln North, I saw Lincoln East, but this is just Lincoln Charter, a new team, and I'm excited to see all of them take the field.
Well, they may share a similar branding, but I bet they're different flavors of the beautiful game of cardball. Here's an opportunity under the bright lights of the VESL stream to see what is in store for them. But I know Gaston's going to make it as difficult as possible, especially with their defensive strategy, and having 2 cards right in front post to lock down any shot on frame. So this is going to be a banger here.
I'm hoping for just that. Cheesy, with all those E's in their name, trying to stretch every shot to their advantage. Popped it high, but pops it high again. Not really in position for their team to take advantage of. Instead, you got to be careful with those high elevated touches right in front of your net. Gaston will look for more of those moments where they can pounce on it and score. Here's a ball certainly they would love to pounce on. It's open in the midfield. XP is going to take a touch and get Dog rotating back to the defensive side in order to boost back up. XP was okay, turning around, finally grabs that boost. But again, it does suffer in terms of Gaston's possession as they have to backtrack and stay out of it.
I'm not saying that it was the wrong decision there, but I kind of wish there was someone who would say it's a little bit higher to like draw the defense and say, hey, maybe we might try to break rotation to see if Lincoln would take the bait, but we'll never know after that exchange.
Yeah, I guess we'll never know, right? But hey, we still know the fact that it's tied up with halfway to go. So who's gonna have that kind of back half progression, right? Sometimes when you're golfing, you're a back 9 kind of guy. And maybe these players, when the pressure's on, when they got to perform in clutch scenario, they can do it. Goal line demolition certainly opens things up. But how about the other two of Lincoln Charter to find a route out and escape?
Yeah, you've obviously never seen me play golf. I am a no-9 guy. It is just awful. If you want easy money, man, play the game golf. But yeah, you're right, absolutely right. There's definitely a strength of having a back team, and definitely a strength of a team having a different creative strategy that no one's expecting here. So we're seeing a lot of those bangs against the wall. We saw a lot of corner shots. I wonder it would be the one to go right down the middle to be the difference maker here.
Could be the case, but we are off the middle track. We are moving a little off Broadway Street here to go across to the extremities, other avenues, and right back to the middle we go. A bunch of different routes that these players are taking to try and find that opening. Oh, big opening there. Gaston players, they bump into each other, and now it's wide open in front of the net. Cheesy gets a dime of a pass to go ahead in the lead.
Start off in the corner, but it was right down the middle. Call me Nova Thomas. Cheesy makes it easy, 2-1.
Oh, man. When games are so level-headed here, you're looking for that one moment that opens things up for you. And certainly, it was that team bump that just gave the space that Lincoln Charter needed. Good for Cheesy as well to just be in position for that shot. Lincoln Charter up 1 with almost a minute to go.
Well, you got a minute to go, and I would say park the bus, but no, you need to go ahead, go here, because a 1-goal advantage in Rocket League isn't much of an advantage at all, especially at this group stage level. You want to be able to show other players, other opponents, that you have the skills to pay the bills to get more goals as possible here.
A long boomer might just set that up for Lincoln Charter. Gaston, be careful on your own goal line. Too many cooks in the kitchen will lead to a catastrophic burnout failure. But they're able to transition very quickly. This ball's right back into the midfield. Can get Dog get there quickly enough? Not quite. Would have been an excellent shot-taking opportunity. But sometimes that offensive rotation for Gaston has been a little too slow to strike.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you. I think the rotations have been good. They need to be where they need to be, but it always seems to be a car and a half behind, and that is miles when you're on the pitch in Rocket League. But with 20 seconds to go here, there's still time for one more on either side here to either force the equalizer or maybe a golden goal situation or shut the door in once and for all.
Yeah, if you're ever going to push it, now is the time. C-Force behind the ball on this Dominus. Wants to be the angel in disguise here with the Halo topper. Puts it up high off the ceiling. Great challenge from Spawn of Weird. And Cheesy might just have the final take to the ceiling, back to the ground, and that's the game. Lincoln Charter take game 1 of this best of 3.
It was close. It was tight. There was times where I thought they would have let that lead disappear, but they stayed strong and resolute, and they got the dub.
That's what's important, is start off early, start off strong. Gaston, I'm looking forward to that next game from them where they'll have a chance to get that offense more in order and try to find more than one goal, because that may be what's needed to take down Lincoln Charter. But of course, we have more action underway here for VESL Season 2. Group stage turns over to a bit of a rivalry. Novanta, It's the E.E. Smith squads, A and B, taking the field.
Well, E.E. Smith High School has more than one squad. They're taking on each other, kind of the Battle of North Carolina here, which I love to see because it's that school pride, that school spirit, and already we're seeing everyone being aggressive on the ball. As a caster, we always say get more aggressive, but what we're seeing here is an absolute dog pile in the corners in Yelling Goings.
That's just what I'm imagining in recess. It's just a dog pile for the football or the basketball or something, but this time it's a Rocket League ball, and I'm sure the B team would love to go to school the next day and say, hey, isn't that kind of crazy that the B team beat the A team? What's going on there? Maybe we should be on that A team. So this is where it's all decided here on the court, here on the broadcast, and E.E. Smith A, got to give them credit because they've had more of the pressure here. They've had more of the shot-taking opportunities. That one, though, for them will go loose.
Yeah, I'm with you there. You can imagine you are so good at Rocket League and someone goes, you're on the B team. Oh, heck, I would totally have that as the biggest chip on my shoulder to show and prove that I'm A+, baby.
That's the thing. Sometimes those outside motivators may just play in to the game itself, but at the same time, the A team wants to prove exactly why they're there. It's a wonderful flick from ZZ to dip it off to Gomez.
Well, you can have all the chips on the shoulders you want, but you gotta have the concentration to clear that away. It wasn't, in fact, it wasn't pretty, but it was effective. E. Smith A rolls it in there, and those are the kind of punishments that makes you an elite team.
Beautifully done. We'll see if E. Smith, the A squad, will be able to punish them again. Keep an eye out for those little opportunities to make that shot count. Of course, there, Surge is not able to get in front of the ball. So that does end up in a little chance for the A team, but now the B team already rolling around. They've got a shot opportunity. ZZ too clutch on the backboard defense. Shot open there for Divian, but it just won't fall in. They try to find it on the backboard, but it ends up being Alina Gomez's chance instead.
Well, this one here was a little bit of a stretch out. The first goal we saw, it was kind of this rolling over, body rolling, just going with the flow of things. A bit overzealous on that defensive E. Smith B, and E. Smith A just capitalized. And you know what? The result was the same.
It was indeed. Goal's the goal after all that. And the A team looking like just that at the start of this game. So much still more to go. I would say that Smith B's team is more lethal on their counterattacks. It seems like they're able to transition to offense very quickly, but they just need that opportunity to do so. Landonism almost gives them that chance, but it's a misfire on the ball. Divian's up at them, but getting bumped off the play. A little hustle and bustle for the B team to get A team out of the way.
I think as I have a hot take, I do think that E. Smith B has a little bit better positioning. I think their issue is their first touch is either non-existent or a bit too heavy, just giving away possession. And you have more chances to score. You're going to make that happen if you're E. Smith A. So if you're E. Smith B, what I would say is to slow it down just a little bit, make sure you have control of the ball before passing or going for that block, and distribute it evenly if you can.
That positioning, that pep in your step to get in front of the ball may need to be there, honestly, for both teams. But B team, you're back in your own half. What can you do to break out as ZZ takes it over one? Backflips just to keep the ball in their possession. Tries to steal boost, but a little late to it. However, there's an opening for Divian that's sent wide. Still double committing on the play is Smith A's team as they don't display the best positioning and game sense, but they're quicker to the ball. They've got the better looks, and with more pressure, they could certainly get another goal. However, off the backboard, prime real estate for E. Smith's B team. They can't get the shot to go.
Yeah, Divian's pretty much playing like a madman because he know that was an opportunity that was dead to rights for them to get that third goal, but this went too hard and too wide, and so you see them covering a lot more ground to get themselves another opportunity. But you don't want to be too overzealous. You want to be able to show up your defense while going for the offensive attack and open yourself up for a counter.
So that's the case. Counter. Will it happen? Landonism takes us off the corner. But all three defenders of E. Smith's A team is in that corner, so they had it clogged up, and they all move together upfield and score.
Talk about delaying the inevitable. There was the carry, there was a bump with the teammate, there was the almost a side assist from the opponent. Doesn't matter though, right in the corner pocket, and that's the number 3 they were looking for. With about 112 to go, E. Smith has scored every goal here in this one.
Is there gonna be another goal here for E. Smith A, just to really teach the B team why they're on that other side? And Lena Gomez trying to showcase a good touch off the midfield, but E. Smith B team right back up on it. Off the ceiling we go, and ZZ has not expressed any hesitation when going towards the ball. Always leaps up to it, always giving the A team a chance to push up.
More importantly, what is your favorite Selena Gomez song? Do you have one?
Selena Gomez?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, put me on the spot.
If it's not Slow Down, I don't want to talk to you. It's over. That is my jam.
I'll put that in my top 3 just for you.
30 seconds ago, E. Smith B wants to get one more on the board, but it looks like the defense of Smith A has pretty much has this locked down, being able to control position throughout.
15 now. Ball's up. Ooh, Divian X. Okay, there's a take, but 2 defenders in the way. It's enough for the Smith B team to hold on to this 3-0 scoreline, but it doesn't seem like it'll extend any better than that. Ball falls on the ground, and there you have it. EE Smith A team takes the victory. I'm not sure if we'll be panning to this other game that has a little bit more time left. In game number 2. Okay, we still have a minute. And how about this? The complete turnaround here. Lincoln Charter had the narrow win last time, Novanta, but Gaston had broken loose.
Yeah, the situation where you have that 60-second period to think about what you need to do and shore it up, and sometimes things just click, whether it's some kind of hype in the VC or maybe it's a tactic everyone discusses, it becomes a whole different ball game.
And it remaining here. And Starbucks Tea taking this upfield. I love the fandom in the name. You know, we got maybe a potential Selena Gomez fan, a Starbucks Tea fan, expressing it out here on the field. It's good to see.
Yeah, I try to put mine as Pyro J fan, but it was already taken. So I was a little bit unfortunate when it comes to that. But
oh yeah, I'm sure that was taken though.
There's so many. There's so many that was taken. Final moments here at Gaston. Looks like they're pretty much in a comfortable win to force that game 3. But Lincoln Charter has a lot to think about as well, because I don't think they're playing particularly bad. It's that it's not their game so far there.
It's not their game. They've got a demolition there, so they're trying to at least put the numbers in their favor, but I'd say the numbers on the clock certainly don't favor them one bit. Single digits now as Lincoln Charter are just looking down the barrel of a game 3 after this game 2 loss. Looking forward to seeing what happens in the next one.
Well, that will be the name of the game, because we saw so many different flavors of the run of play. We saw some of the counterattack, and we definitely saw some of the corner defense, which seems to be a common tactic between all these group stage games thus far. So I'm excited, as you, to see which one gets deployed.
All right, well, we've got this next one between EE Smith, the A team, and the B team. This is game number 2, and it was a convincing victory. It was a late push from E. Smith A that put them up ahead by quite a margin. Seems like they're already trying to dictate that margin early on in game 2.
Well, that's how it's done. When you want to win a game, you want to win it as lopsided or as emphatically as possible. Not only to shut the door on your opponent, but to let other future opponents know you mean business. I love the aggression. Give me more.
Ooh, you get what you ask for sometimes. Demo near the goal line that opens up a lane for the A team, but it swings across the width of the pitch. ZZ takes this up high and searches for a midfield pass, but it comes out a little too quick. I don't think the rest of the A team squadrons were prepared for that. However, they're prepared for this. Selena Gomez, 3rd goal.
Well, that was a pop back going the other way, and it was just slotted in there. So we're talking about distributing the ball, right? Capitalizing on a mistake, forcing the error of E. Smith B, and it was not the clear they wanted. It should have been a boom in this situation, and it wasn't, and E. Smith A capitalized.
Timer resets here on 3:48 as we get going with this next face-off. It already leans in favor Smith A team. Oh no, the Smith B team. Hold on, there's a shot towards the net that Alina Gomez has to get to quick. If that's on target, Smith B team form an immediate response against their rivals here at their own school. However, this ball already transitioning to the other side. Drop down in the corner, taken advantage of by Alina Gomez, who is feeling This game right now, a great bar down take.
Yeah, that is definitely a shot when you do when you're only feeling yourself confidence with the side barrel roll like Star Fox bar downski, and that's goal number 4.
Hey, feed the beast. That's what I say. Elena Gomez just striking her right in the net, and we'll see if Elena Gomez gets more chances, but for now, it's ZZ who takes that full boost and turns right back on the ball. Drops it down for Elena Gomez. Another one to go. 3 in a row. They're good for 4 goals off of only 5 shots.
Wow, talk about thread the needle like Magic in his prime. That was pinpoint, precise, and effective. Bottom 90. That's number 5. That's the nickel, baby.
We're making a little money out here on the stage. 5-0. Not even 2 minutes in the game. Talk about dominance here, and not just off the shot taking, but off of the passes as well. This pass coming off of an attempted shot for the B team. Finally, a response pulls through.
Well, you pull one back there, and some will say it's a little too late, but I disagree. Got 3 whole minutes, chip away. Every 30 seconds is an opportunity to get a goal, if not less than that. It's very much on the game here for Smith B.
Especially if the goals are going in that quickly. That was right off the kickoff there. Kickoff going to be in favor of Crit as they pull it up a little high and lose possession of the ball there. It's ZZ instead. Air dribble towards the net. Defense comes into shape just in time. And you can tell this Smith B team keeping their heads on a swivel, trying to get in front of every shot. But it can be tough when they fire away at every moment.
Yeah, that was definitely a keep your eye on the ball moment. Everyone's hanging out there, bunch up in the corner, had nowhere really to go, and trying to get big as they might just wasn't enough to get to prevent goal number 6, and that was the most unfortunate goal we've seen today.
Yeah, that was just a tough one to get around to. Those waterfall passes up the ceiling of the cage can be tough, difficult to get to. Very difficult to read as well. But ZZ has had fantastic reads throughout this game. Gets a touch on the ball from the corner. And the ball pulls up towards the top of the middle of the field. That is great position for Divian to strike. And it's towards the net. Elena Gomez with a back pass, sort of, to ZZ. It ended up working out, but Smith B, I mean, they're hesitating less on the ball. They're trying to get to it a bit more quickly, and it's been good for a couple defensive stops.
Yeah, a couple of defensive stops, maybe a little bit more was I like to see in this one because we've seen everything else, right? We've seen the goals, we've seen the attack, we've seen the demos, we've seen the bumps. Give me some of those stops, man. Make the whole cycle complete. 2 minutes ago here, Smith A looking for that goal number 7 and might get one with a shot down the fire. And it makes you wonder, though, if you are Smith A, you are the A squad, you have a game in hand. How much is it is about ego? How much is it is saying, you know, we're putting all doubt that we are the best squad in that school?
I think it's a good part of it, honestly. I also imagine a world where, you know, all these players get along very well with each other as well, you know? And even if there is ego, like, you know, it's a friendly bit as well, you know? Can't we be joined by our mutual love for Rocket League? No, Vaughn, I'd like to say that to some of my ranked teammates, but they don't agree.
Yeah, getting along, boo. No, they're probably like hanging out and getting like milkshakes after the games. But still, man, I think it's that it being so rough and tough. Should have came in a shot to frame. That could be it. And that's number 7. A Brazil, baby. Z makes it 7.
Woo-wee. That's time that you could ask for it as well. Triple ones on the board, 7-1, and well, that's a surefire win. We're just about calling it here for EE Smith's A team. They should run away with that victory after game 2. But hey, we've got a bit of a closer match here. Game 3 between Lincoln Charter and Gaston. Lincoln Charter had a great win in game number 1, but everything broke loose for them against game 2. Lost devastatingly to Gaston, who's in the lead now with 1 minute.
Yeah, it isn't the prettiest Rocket League, but I like the way that Gaston's able to swarm the defense, but maybe that was just too much. Caster curse in effect. Lincoln Charter is in within 1.
I mean, they were in position on the goal line, but maybe not in position behind the ball. You can see both defenders having a difficult time getting behind it so they can push it out of their net instead of almost accidentally pushing it in their net. So Lincoln Charter taking advantage of the chaos, and how about this for a little bit of calamity on the goal line? So close to equalizing off the kickoff.
That calamity would be the best way to describe it. It easily would have been the equalizer if it was for a last-ditch effort in a long-nosed car. I feel like if that was a snub-nose, if that was like authentic, or that would not be nearly saved, it would have been a tie game. 30 seconds ago, Gaston's holding on for dear life. Can they hold on for just a little while longer to get this dub?
That's a big question. 20 seconds left, and it is on the side for Lincoln Charter to tie up this ball game. Starbucks T, aerial, but it's behind them, and they've got an all-time goalie as well in Spawn of Weird. They need to move up, and there it is. That could be the big pounce that's needed here for Lincoln Charter. Ball comes up the backboard. There's a shot from Starbucks T. Again up the backboard. Can they follow? Cheesy! There it is! Tie it up just in time.
Cheesy was waiting at the bottom of the table like a dog on Thanksgiving for the scraps, and scraps is what they got. Easy, cheesy, yes, fresh and squeezy, and we have ourselves an equalizer.
Lemon Plazy as well with a bit of a fruit bowl goal explosion. Love to see it there, but the job's not finished. Lincoln Charter, you brought it back here. Can you have the same magic in OT?
Well, of course it's going to be an overtime situation because these two teams were coming in different directions. And I always say it's a weaker team that it benefits from an overtime period. So score as quickly as you can. 5 seconds elapsed, and that could have been an opportunity for Lincoln Charter. Side away. Cheesy, the hero of the last time, is denied by the crossbar.
Oh dear, but what a quick turnaround. Spawn of Weird, who's played the defensive line for so long, does make that save, and still a 74 boost as they trail back into their net, but a lot of pressure put on Starbucks T to make that aerial save as Lincoln Charter appear to make their way out.
Well, try as you might there, you want to be able to keep that ball away from your half as much as you can, but we're seeing that both teams love to bunch together, so you don't really have to be up there as quick as possible because you pretty much know where 4 of the 6 cars in the pitch are going to be at any given time.
That's right. Well, a bunch of cars here in this corner of the pitch as the ball has not left that spot for a while. Finally, a long clear, though, for Gaston, assisted by a Lincoln Charter player. And demolition as well. It all comes down and upon Lincoln Charter. Wide open ball for XP Wazd to finish and win the series for Gaston.
Pyro J, if I had pearls, I would be clutching them. It was a precarious overtime, but Gaston walks away the victors.
How about it? Fantastic work for them, and they lost game 1 but brought it right back in 2 and 3. Clutch scenarios despite losing those last 2 goals to force to overtime, but it's OT that mattered, Novanta, and congrats there to Gaston for pulling away the win.
Yeah, sometimes you go to overtime and you lose your focus, but they double down, and that's why they have all the spoils that go to the victors, baby.
We love to see all the bunch of winners that we've seen so far. We've covered multiple groups, and we have even more groups to follow, folks, with this VESL Season 2 group stage. We'll be right back at it after a short break. back, everybody. This is Fire J alongside the lovely Novanta, and we're casting to day 3 of this VESL high school action. And we've got some groups to cover as well before we get into these next games. We've got Group C, Group D, a few matches here that we've got to cover.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to have Green Hope and Green Level against Shelby A and North Henderson. So both C and D will get some representation there. So you know it's going to be 2 good matches back to back.
All right, let's see it then. Who's going to keep that undefeated streak? Who's going to have to lose it? One certainly has to. Who's gonna shine a brighter green as well as Iron Welder? What an air dribble to kick off this game. The follow there, so close for Div 1 bronze, but it ends up going the other way. I mean, who's your eye on here, Novanta? Because we have players like Needy Muscles, Sensei, who are both popping off for Green Level just earlier.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Green Level, we had a chance to see them showcasing how they work as a unit and team, but Green Hope is not to be denied. The car controller ready received from that total blue side has really helped them out. Thought I was going to be walked in there for a goal, so it's going to be hard to call it, but that said, Green Level has that advantage, but then again, I'm easily influenced by recency bias.
Yeah, it's hard not to be when you see such great shots taken, but how about this backboard read from Iron Welder? It is a solo play double tap to get us started.
Is that Stockton and Cristiano's? Okay, I respect that. Bringing it down there as 1-0, and well, you're right. Talking about the car control and barrel rolls, we saw that just right there on display in a showcase. What a goal.
Incredible. And earlier we saw some double taps and backboard reads attempted by Green Hope. So these players feeling very aerially inclined is what I like to call it. Mechanical beasts are certainly on the field here for Green Hope. I expect to see more.
Yeah, definitely we're seeing a little bit of those individual efforts, especially as we get later on into the tournament, which says a lot about the teams, their makeup, and how they approach the game. But I gotta say that passing plays, especially in standard, always win the day. So don't forget about your teammates, even if you feel like stunting on your opponents.
Oh my, almost a stunt there, but it goes a bit awry there for Green Hope. Shot was misfired, and instead Crazy Shark with a second opportunity is gonna have to lay this out wide. Green Hope more so, I would say, getting their advantage off the backboard than these ground shots. This is very different for me, Novanta, as I'm more comfortable on the ground than I am in the air. But Green Hope, when they elevate their play style, it seems to work out beautifully for them.
Oh, Crazy Shark, the Desperado, it looks like. I don't know. This one here was a little bit off the ground, but it had just a small window to catch that at the right angle. That's exactly what happened there. It's a lot more difficult shot than a replay gives it credit for, and now it's 2-0.
That's fantastic read and great accuracy on the shot. Ground or air, it's a goal is a goal, and a second one for Green Hope as they're already working quickly off the kickoff. Green Level key to get their response in order, but it's tough with Div 1 bronze already on it at the half-court line. Come off the ceiling here, and Green Hope, they're always in front of this ball. They're always looking to gather possession and maintain control.
I just realized how clever Div 1 Bronze is as a name, but that's besides the point here. 2-goal lead, 2-goal advantage there from Green Hope, and we're not seeing any change of attack, which is always a good sign about teams doing what they have to do. A lot of times you have a short lead or even a lead late in the game, you may see teams try to do a little bit more or do a little bit less on the clock, but Green Hope is definitely in that second and third gear, not wavering, and so far it's working out for them.
Holy Crazy Shark, what a maneuver to make on the defensive line there. Got the first save off their own post and then read it for the second clear. I mean, that's incredible work and big reaction time managing for Green Hope to stay alive and survive defensively, but they're already turning it over on offense, forcing 2 defenders to punch that ball out the way. Off of double commits, there's usually a follow-up, and Iron Welder is going to get a ball for free at the half-court line. Flip resets there. They enact the next flip, but it's straight into Sensei Boa to interrupt it.
Yeah, I give a credit to Sensei Boa there. There could have been a lot of different options there, but as I say, that Crazy Shark cleans it up and just has that last offensive drive mood. Green Hope with goal number 3. I was going to say Green Level is really good at reading their opponents, but that ball hit the ceiling and nobody read that one.
That's right. I mean, and listen, you can only make every single aerial play work. Sometimes you're okay waiting for it to drop down to the ground a little bit. And Green Hope, they've been clear about dominating the skies and the ground, so maybe they're just domination in order from wherever you are on the field. It's respectable, but Maybe not this time on their backline. Needy Muscles. This was a player popping off the last time we saw them. I'm glad to see the verse goal coming out of them here.
Yeah, it really was a rare mistake from Green Hope having so many players stuck in that drink. Ideally, you want to stay away from the corners if you not really know what you're doing as far as being a secondary defensive option, because it's kind of like quicksand. And so Green Hope got caught. It was a wide open shot on frame, and Green Level, as good as they are not going to let that opportunity get wasted away.
That's right. Couple more opportunities necessary, though. The minute 30 left. They've got to work off that shot that just narrowly escaped their net right off their own crossbar. Crazy Shark taking it back. Wants another shot at this. Pass off the backboard. You know this is bread and butter for Green Hope, but they were out of position. Couldn't get to the shot, so instead, Green Level taking advantage to get a little possession for themselves.
Yeah, Green Level was getting all the possession, but Green Hope was totally shifted onto bully mode, just closing out of space and ready to shut down a lot of the space. And wow, coast to coast, Iron Welder untouched, unbothered. That's goal number 4.
How about the dribble sequence here? Never let that ball leave the top of their octane, and the front flick gave it just enough momentum to get to the goal. A 4th and a comfortable lead. I know you said no lead is comfy in Rocket League, but with under a minute, 3 goals ain't too shabby.
It's true, it's true. No lead is comfortable at all, but Green Hope is looking pretty much in their element, which is kind of comfortable, being really honest about it. But in the last 45 seconds ago, Green Level still has some time to put some more in their account, but it's looking very, very much this game is not going to go their way.
Green Level, they are opportunistic with the chances given to them. So will it come in the final 30? Iron Welder certain to deny any chance that could come available with that great clear off their own backboard. Stayed right behind the ball to get an extra 50-50. Crazy Shark takes advantage of a shot that never hit the mark, and Iron Welder pulling it the other way. Midfield pass goes awry. It's towards the opponent's net as Crazy Shark bottles it up, takes it back upfield, and makes Green Level defend once again. They don't want to give any of their hope out to Green Level that they'll have a chance in game 2 as they pile drive the final seconds of game number 1. Green Hope, for certain now, get their game 1 victory.
Well, we've seen close shots, close victories. We've seen emphatic lopsided victories, but nothing beats a good old-fashioned comprehensive win. And that's what Green Hope had this time.
It's great work. From beginning to end, I agree. Comprehensive effort out of Green Hope. Well done to them. And I love these summarized scores as well. How about almost a 1,400 showing between the 3 teammates of Green Hope? I'd love to see who really was like the MVP. If I had a guess, actually, it'd be tough. Everyone kind of popped off. I'd say a MVP moment, though, maybe, Novanta, was that play, I think, from Iron Welder coast to coast on that dribble.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not even so much the effort individually. That counts. But you have the teamwork on the other 2 battle cars on your squad to pretty much clear the path, allow the Red Sea to make that even a possibility. So a lot of times even individual efforts get supported by team play, and that was by far my favorite part of that match.
Absolutely. Listen, the pressure, all the possession, definitely had some team orientation there. You are the sum of your parts. That is matter of fact. But as good as that green matchup was, and as lovely as it matched here, our green scheme on the stream, we will have game 2, I think, between these 2 teams go on as well. So I'm excited. I feel like for Green Level, it was a damaging loss, Novanta, but it wasn't a loss where you close the book, you get out of the classroom, and you're done for the day. There's still a game 2 to be had, despite the fact that they're going to concede the first one.
Yeah, I mean, that's the last thing you want to do is really get, because any goal, period, but definitely off the kickoff so early in the game. You want to be able to keep things as level as you can, but that's just unfortunate all around.
Yeah, you want to set the tone the best way you can after the goal count is reset in your favor. You're no longer working at a deficit, but after 6 seconds of game time, that's no longer the case. It could be 2-0 with this read from Crazy Shark off the backboard, but instead it goes to Div 1 Bronze to take the shot high as well. Green Level survive off of a threatening scenario.
Yeah, it was threatening as it is, but hopefully another chance for them at rest spot if you're well. Sometimes those warning shots are good enough to go, hey, look, we're not doing something right to give these team an opportunity. We got to tighten it up on our end to make sure it doesn't happen again.
Tightening up is the offensive rotation for Green Level. They're able to hold on to this possession for more than just a few seconds as Popox is the next to take it towards the net, but that's an errant touch. It goes way too far back to their own end, and it forces now Popox to get right back in the action. to try and get it past half-court line again. They managed to do so, but we're not getting that tightened offensive rotation we saw earlier, where it's passing plays, where it's crashing into the boards for Green Level. Instead, it's these one-off pop shots towards the net that are easily handed by Green Hope.
Yeah, I'm with you 100% there, Pyroja. This feel like the waters are getting a bit choppy. A lot of the passing lanes aren't as clear as they were before, but Iron Welder still finds ways to score. What a pop!
I'm just going to mention it as well. This is one of the first teams that have players with toppers and antennas that are still just popping off. Normally, as you see there from Crazy Shark, has the some kind of hat and antenna combination. Means they're a bit of a newbie to the game, but instead, they're decked out in finesse, and they're still working the magic on the scoreboard.
Yeah, well, speaking of the magic, Sensei Bo says, you know what? We're talking about Green Hope just a little bit too much. What about Green Level, Dad? Hey, we're still in this one.
Lovely job done there from Sensei Boa, and you can see the mechanics at play as well. In that final second, they had to change the orientation of their Fennec to not hard shot it over the net or misfire between the posts. Instead, it was towards the underside and the side of the car that was able to drill the shot home. Speaking of, rippers towards the net. That one's just wide for Green Hope. They've done a lovely job of getting quick responses against Green Level, but at this point, Green Level could still be in the driver's seat.
Yeah, you have Green Level and opportunities there. Look, one goal down, but I do think they are pretty much a lot more of a tighter squad than we saw in the first half of this one. Being able to have that width of the pitch used to their advantage, all they have to do now is execute.
Execution might just come to form here off this backboard touch. No, it sends it right back to the back wall. And listen, the backboard's great for teeing up chances for your team, but if everybody's hitting the backboard, nobody's firing away at the net. So that shot has to come at some point. It could off the counter. Oh, there's Muscles with a hard shot towards the net. It's so powerful. It forces two defenders from Green Hope to lunge at it. We haven't seen a lot of double commits defensively from Green Hope, but that time around, Green Level's really testing them.
Yeah, they're doing all the pressure they need to right now. Look, it's about making sure your opponent makes those defensive mistakes, breaks down that kind of focus they had, especially in the first half of this game.
And we have transitioned to that back half. Green Level, it looks like the momentum could be in their favor if they maintain some of this possession and start to inject some teamwork and passing plays into their rotation. That's a fantastic dunk there from Sensei Boa to get them into scoring position. Pass out there from Sensei again, and we almost saw those team plays surface. The ball was taken in front of the net instead of there, and if that had been a give and go, that might have been the highlight play for Green Level.
Yeah, that was one shovel away from hitting pay dirt. Unfortunate. I don't think you'll get an opportunity quite like that, but had that gone in, it would have been a game changer, quite literally.
Ooh, Iron Welder up high off that musty flick, and had they been behind the ball, maybe the double tap would have came to form. Div 1 Bronze trying to do just that with the read off the backboard, puts it in front of the net, but it's a solid clear from Needy Muscles. Can they have the goal line stop once again, or will it finally get to them? No, it's Crazy Shark for the third goal.
Crazy Shark with the teardropper here really took the fortune into their own hands to go for it. Little help from the ceiling. Doesn't matter though. Right place, right time. And that's goal number 3.
Man, Green Level, they've gone toe-to-toe. It feels like one of those arm wrestling matches that just goes on for a minute long. It's like, come on, who's going to give finally? And it was Green Level that did, but they're back at it. They're still trying to out-muscle the other, especially with Needy Muscles on the pitch, but someone's got to get back towards the goal line, and it is Needy Muscles to find an exit, and the attempted shot ends up in a clear. That is not what Green Hope had planned for.
Oh man, the cinema. It really was the pinch. Unfortunate. And then the running of the Bulls to stop this spill, but it was too much. Wow. You know what? That's like a not top 10. Shout out to ESPN for that one.
I would love to see some Rocket League not top 10s. Get on it, VESL. We need a new segment on the stream, and we've got a highlight reel for it. Minute to go, though. Green Level, it's time to work your magic and work off of that errant touch.
Well, you don't get too many opportunities like that to be within one goal with a minute to go. We've seen kickoff goals. We've seen blink of an eye goals. If there's any kind of magic left in that bag, it has to be now.
Oh, Needy Muscles up there for it, but that's not a powerful touch enough. Ball comes off the backboard for an attempted clear. Sensei Boa does get behind it, but Look at the third man. Always there in rotation for Green Hope to send it back into green level zone and have difficulty working their way back out. Div 1 Bronze is going to be behind the play as they got to rotate out. Crazy Shark having a difficult time controlling the ball. So now it's Popox on 0 boost. No momentum either to give Iron Welder a challenge as they see their exit out. 40 seconds has turned to 20 in the blink of an eye. In green level, they're running out of time to make this shot, to make this goal count. As Crazy Shark brings it back upfield. Ground pinch offers more velocity on the ball, but this back touch to Div 1 Bronze may not be in their favor. It's enough control, though, to keep their possession alive. 3 seconds now. In green level, it's all or nothing here as they're on match point for Green Hope. Ball rests up the ceiling, hits towards the ground. Needy Muscles keeps it alive, but with this big take from Iron Welder, it will secure the win. Green Hope of a 1-goal lead take the series.
Well, we talked about individual efforts. It really comes down to that third man. You hit the nail on the head. That high line from Green Hope was the difference maker there to make themselves just have that pressure extended, and they actually walk away with the dub here.
W there for Green Hope. But where would the W be between Shelby's A-team and North Henderson? We are wrapping it right back to a new game, folks. This is game number 1 between these two squads. And North Henderson maybe not off to the start that they imagined, especially when they have only 2 players on the field, Novanta.
Yeah, it looks like a little bit of a disadvantage, but sometimes I've seen games where the one with 2 cars understand that they won't have traffic of hitting to a third teammate, and they find a way to push up as they can. So we're seeing a little bit of that action here. Even though they're at a deficit, I do think it could have been a lot more had there been a pair with less of their devices.
I will say I'd believe in this team a little more if I didn't see how well Shelby's A-team played in the last series we saw from them. This team definitely has the ability to go far in this league, and they'll express that, Novanta, whether it's a 3v3 or a 3v2.
Well, it's one of those things, right? Because, beating a 3v2, you'll say, oh, wow, that should be light work, and it might be in this game, but that can really put you off on a rhythm. You're in tournament play, so you get used to playing 2 players for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes if it's a game 3 situation, and then you go back to standard v standard. You have to adjust on the fly to keep yourself competitive. So they may end up being a roadblock for Shelby A if they're not focused about it right.
All right, well, North Henderson, let's get something to go here as Stoppy trying to front flip into the ball, but manages to run into the wall instead. Recovery might not be quick enough. Curly Brown, you got to turn around, my guy, as they aren't able to get to the ball quickly enough. However, a touch towards the corner gives them a glimmer of hope. Pass to the mid goes to Unity Reborn, who turns us around towards the net. STE could not get around to it in time, but rebounding, crashing at the boards. The pressure appears to just be too much towards North Henderson.
Yeah, the pressure there, I like the fact that Shelby is not kind of play with their food. We want to be able to show respect to our opponents, but it gets to a point where you're like, man, there's a lot of time going on, you're not scoring. I wonder if North Henderson is really frustrated you.
I hope there isn't frustration. It's your high school buddies, you're playing against these different teams, and when you're playing against any high school in North Carolina, you gotta expect some tough matches, but still try to have a grin on your face, still try to keep that mental in check. It's a great learning opportunity to hold a strong mental even under this amount of adversity. Almost a 6th goal there for Shelby as they do take the win in game 1.
Very comfortable win there. We didn't really get the whole picture, but definitely it was a numbers game. Having other scoring options, shooting options, going to give you a lot more opportunities to score.
All right, well, there you go. There you have it. Game number 1 done and dusted there. It's going to be a question mark of whether it's that similar movement there, Novanta, of kind of like job finished for Shelby's A-team, because with the 3v2, with how it's working, and players like Curly Brown doing their best to get on that defensive rotation as quickly as they can, but having difficulty doing so, if we're just going to see the same kind of look here for game 2. Despite that, I do like the energy and the passion I see out of these players, because whether those rotations are quick or not, there's clearly a willingness to play your best.
Yeah, I mean, you won the game pretty comfortably, so why not keep on doing what you're doing until it's not working anymore? But again, when you have a 3v2 thing, you can get yourself really into some bad habits in the run of play. So if you're Henderson now, you gotta find a way to exploit that. I would go on full demos. I understand demos put you out the game sometimes too, but doing that to frustrate your opponent will give yourself opportunities for counterattacks or at least curb their scoring prowess.
Let's see if they can kick those cars to the curb with some demos or some bumps. I'm ready to see some of those collisions take place. And you called it out, and there it is. Double demolition for Curly Brown Guy. Already given the go. A little bit rougher.
Wow, already a bloodbath there. That was back to back. You know how much boost you have to do to get yourself in that position at that angle? Man, I love it.
Ooh, Unity Reborn was loving that look, but just couldn't steer towards the net. Another one goes.
Oh, what a save!
Triple post. And yeah, I think the goal line magic of the woodwork is putting in that work.
Oh man, I'm about to go buy myself a North Henderson jersey. This is the way they're keeping Shelby A at bay for such an extended period of time. That's what's called fighting for your life.
Ooh, baby. All right, they're trying to give themselves a little lifeblood here with a counterattack. Curly Brown Guy goes for the demolition again. Novanta, they heard you, and they are gunning for it. Trying to keep this at a 2v2 instead of a 2v3 with those demos. But eventually, Unity Reborn does find an advantage.
Yeah, that was unfortunate there because even though you saw the almost pile up there, it was the ball got shot off just a little bit too early. But this is what I'm talking about. A minute has gone by and only one goal has scored for a team with a quote-unquote advantage.
That is I mean, 1v2, right? It was just everything Unity Reborn needed in terms of redemption arc, I could at least say. You know, it was a couple misfires earlier in the game, so getting something to go their way is a good look. But how about that Jax just headhunting the ball there, even though their teammate had a good feel for it? Hey, it was almost a good team pinch for the goal. I'll give them that.
This is what happens, though, when you have that extra, like, awkward matchup between these players. You see a lot of defensive mistakes, a lot of offensive mistakes. Doesn't matter here. They got the second goal anyway. But it is kind of a sloppier play of a run-up play here in Rocket League. And I do think North Henderson still has a chance to get on the board.
I couldn't agree more. In these moments where Shelby's A team maybe aren't working in the most coordinated fashion, it's a great opportunity for North Henderson to take advantage of that, punish on some mistakes positionally from Shelby's A team, because those creases will start to rear their ugly head. They will arise enough for North Henderson to punch through those gaps. And Curly Brown Guy is figuring that out right now as they had maneuvered from the sidewall to the midfield with the ball, but just got cut out from the play. A shot on target for SD. SDE is going to end up being good.
I've been there before. Curly Brown was waiting almost like a shark in water to cut that ball off the pass. It's got a little bit overzealous and missed the opportunity, and that's goal number 3. And those are the goals I worry about the most. The first 2 goals were kind of like popped loose. That one there, you got dominated on. You got, I think, are starting to switch back to Shelby A's momentum.
Yeah, that's going to give Shelby A team a bit of confidence for sure, seeing that play unfold and giving them a chance to maybe outplay North Henderson's defense again. SDE will look to make their matters better off of a
what a save
attempt. I don't know, was that a little freestyling?
Oh, what a valiant effort from Curly Brown. Had to track back from the mid-pitch after Stopey had messed up their assignment to cover that ball to knock it away. Look, this game doesn't look like it's going to go their way, but it's individual efforts like that that makes me go, this is why I love Rocket League so great, because you can be a hero even in defeat.
I can see the passion. There's no doubt about it. Stoppy getting a good break for their team with that push to the side, but Unity Reborn gave another shot. Curly Brown Guy doing more defensively, though. Putting that backfire into supersonic speed just to make these saves.
Yeah, that's really a battle card you don't see all too often, especially with the modern metas of the game. So that's another reason why you have to love that side. North Henderson's playing for our heartstrings there, Pyro, and I'm on board. I'm buying a jersey after this one.
I love it. I love it. You might have to make it too, because I believe still in what is possible in this final 100 seconds of the game. And every second can be taken to the tops of your potential, but they'll need it here on defense. You need Reborn assisting their teammate on this goal. It was kind of a double effort. I didn't know who was going to push this in.
Yeah, Shelby A, you bunch of meanies. You got the 3-goal advantage, trying to go for number 4. For shame.
In my eyes, they're on the stream, you know? They want to pop off. They want to show everybody what they can do. We've got every side of the fandom out here in the casting booth. And, well, that's just part of our job, you know? Cheer everybody on like the jumpy little eggs are doing there out in the stands with their cool little flags and glasses. But, hey, minute left here. And Shelby A, they got a 4th. There's no telling whether they'll take a 5th or not. Unity Reborn, ooh, is stopped by Stoppy.
Well, there you have yourself. Looking for that 5th one. I don't think anyone's okay with just hanging out, run the clock. I think there really was something in that first minute where North Henderson had Shelby A pinned that got them ticked off, and we're seeing that now. A deluge of goals. It's number 5. 5 goals scored, 5 goals unanswered.
That's incredible. That is some serious momentum. Shelby A, we've seen them play incredibly so far today. And when you have that sort of momentum, and when you are exhibiting that winning prowess to all these different North Carolina high school teams, clearly you want that to be consistent. And there is one thing truly that is consistent, and it is offensive chances, attempts, and many of them going in here for Shelby. They'll look for another on this counter. Jax can't read it quite off the backboard. Reborn pops it high for their teammate SD to fill in on. But they have to face the adversity of North Henderson again and again. A tip of the cap to North Henderson, because no matter what kind of play has arisen in every second of this game, though, Vonta, they are still working to that 0-0.
Yeah, I love the fact how North Henderson never gave up, really putting everything forward. They could have FF, they could have logged out, they could have uninstalled, but they're here and playing their hearts out, and I love it. But if you're Shelby A, win, lose, or draw, in this case win, you have to take time between this and your next contest to scrim, to get yourself back into 3v3-4, because you're at a disadvantage when you think about it going to the next round.
That is true. To talk about kind of calibrating yourself to the game that you're used to playing, this would be a moment where you're a bit uncalibrated, but given that, a win's a win. Shelby A team take it over North Henderson, and despite the revenue that they might get here from the jerseys you're buying, Novanta, it will not be a win on the group stage.
Well, then I just, I'll make sure I can donate to the cause as well. Valiant effort besides, but speaking of valiant effort, we see another Lincoln Charter matchup, this time with Piedmont Charter. Even though we're in the winding stage of this one, we're already seeing battles with Lightning McQueen making their appearance. Ooh. Wow.
We got Lightning McQueen, we got one of those F1 cars of Dino Nuggy. And to any of my hitbox fans out there, there used to just be 6 standard hitboxes, but for the F1 car and for the Lightning McQueen car, they have adjusted the hitboxes just for those vehicles to fit better. So now, given that there's technically 8 hitboxes, so we're seeing a wide variety of that on the field here today. And I'd go on to vamp about it longer, but we have 20 seconds left in this game. And Cheesy, it was up to that player to equalize in the final draining seconds of their last match. This time they're ahead. Can they keep that lead? Piedmont Charter working up the field. It is taken away by spawn of Weird Waffles, and that quick car maneuvers it to the corner, but somebody's got to keep it alive, and instead trails to the ground. Lincoln Charter will take their game 1 win.
No, please vamp, because we all know Lightning McQueen should have the Merc hitbox. Let's be honest. More Merc, more fun, baby. Yeah, no, I'm just saying that was a good matchup there. It was a really effective win towards the end to make sure that ball got spiked, walk away with the dub.
You know what? If I see Toe Mater, then I'll agree on the Merc hitbox. But for now, I think Lightning McQueen's just fine with that altered dominance hitbox. I don't know, Lovato. What car's character would we see you out on the field if you could choose one?
Well, I'm an F-150 main. That is the way it's always been. But if you mean car characters, like, I don't know, the Fast and Furious ones are always a good one. Those are always the classic choices.
That's true. That's true. I've got a Ford F-150 myself. You know what I call the Ford F-150? The F stands for Flick, because the flicks are massive in that vehicle. They have such a long body, and it can really help you. But here's the thing, guys. We just finished with that match. We love seeing Lightning McQueen in the F1 car, but it sounds like we are going to switch series. We've got another new match on the board for us to see here very soon. I believe it was going to be another coming of E.E. Smith A's team. After they took it against the B team, they'll be looking for another win against Pine Forest. So that match theoretically going on right now. And yes, there it is. Game number 1 of this match. Of course, we saw the A team from Smith take their first win against the B team, but how will they do against Pine Forest?
Yeah, from old rivals to potentially new rivals. This one here could be, for all the marbles, almost a main event before the main event. And that could have been the first goal. Waterfall down, and I was knocked away. And I was going to say, when you have an opportunity to be on stream multiple times, there is a little bit of a pep in your step to really show out and show why you deserve to be there.
That's it. Exactly. And you could argue that the E.E. Smith A team has done all they can to show up and show out and represent themselves well. But how can you do it when it's outside of their school, when it's outside of their own small conference and you bring it statewide? How can you do against a Pine Forest squad?
Yeah, that's one of the biggest question marks here. We haven't seen much of them today, but they have to be a little bit of a dangerous team to make this far in the tournament. So with a minute elapsed here, we still have no score, and we're trying to see who's going to be the first one to break the deadlock.
Yeah, it's still deadlock, but at the half-court line, somebody's trying to get that edge in terms of possession. Lags gets a good take off the wall, but there it is again. Divian showing themselves out to ZZ, and what an air dribble, actually, to take it past the first defender. Heck of a first goal.
Yeah, there was definitely a touch. It was definitely the car control, and even with traffic, getting bumped away to put yourself in position to make the defense make a decision, but that decision was quickly removed. That was a bullet right to goal.
Fantastic work, even off the strong defense out of Pine Forest, because they were climbing up to that. They were looking to get in front of the ball. Hold on, Lags saw exactly what was coming. That nobody hit that ball on the kickoff, and they tried taking advantage of it with a smart flick chance. It just wasn't the execution that came to form, unfortunately for him. Pine Forest, clearly it's going to be difficult with just the 2 players that they have, but I can already see the mechanical prowess out of both of these players. I'm not giving themselves, I'm sorry, I'm not going to take them out of this game. I feel like they still have a chance.
Well, part of me for being all doom and gloom, because I do well, even though they have the 1-goal lead, and it looks like they're going to have a second one, that score and drive on defense. It looks like E.E. Smith kind of wait and huddles up and bundles up waiting for the counterattack. So if I was Pine Forest and you want to get yourself on the board, what you want to do is threaten to go aerial and then bring that ball down and go to pass wide to open up that pitch for you. But let's see if they execute it as this goes on.
Oh, ZZ, there's not much execution needing left here. Had almost the red carpet rolled out for them on this turnaround. Of course, Pine Forest, you do want to give it all if you've got an offensive try, but you work against the possible punishment of the counter.
Yeah, maybe I'm getting a little rope-a-dope action. I'm sitting there saying, I don't know if the counterattack plan of E.E. Smith works. And as soon as you do that, they do it, but they get one back. You know what? I'm going to stop talking. I'm just doing the opposite. I'm doing the opposite.
It feels like a little tug of war, and you don't know who's winning. It just keeps pulling you from one end to the other. Pine Forest, happy to see the scoreline seesaw a bit, though, because things were starting to get out of hand. Looked like E.E. Smith A, although they coop up towards their back net, they were finding the advantage off the scoring opportunity, and might just on this play as well. There's no opposition for Divian on the third.
Yeah, that one had to have gone in for Divian. You had all the time in the world. Ball's right in front of you. We've seen lesser people get rid of that ball in the worst possible way, but to be able to slot that in says E.E. Smith is still in the game. They're so focused, and they have more in the offing.
All right. 2-goal lead there afforded by a strong start off the kickoff, so clearly we need to keep a strong eye on these kickoff scenarios. I mean, there was the one chance where Pine Forest had almost a free flick chance there, but this one's going to rest a little bit, and we allow both teams to sort of get in their swing of motion.
Yeah, I mean, I like that. It totally makes sense. But to do that so deep into the game, one makes you wonder about who's able to come out of it quicker. That post-evaluation period. 3-1, the scoreline. I think E.E. Smith is looking for that fourth goal, but Pine Forest still has an opportunity. What they have to do, though, is use the width of the pitch. Everyone uses the wall. Everyone's on the flank. It's almost like a big, giant I formation. Doesn't matter what I mean that now. They score. Fine. Again, the opposite of what I'm saying. But width of the pitch is great for them. They do want to use that later on.
It will be a great chance, exactly. But here's the thing, like Lags, I've seen the mechanical brilliance that they've had throughout this game, and if they're given even a sliver of a chance in front of the net, you know they're gonna drill it right to the back of it. So impressive work there for Lags to take advantage of the moment. They can certainly do it again, as well as Extinct, but instead of just kind of lunging for the ball, they play it cautiously, bring it back, and they are fortunate to not see that ball go in their net.
Yeah, I understand the idea of trying to be a counterattack team if you have the one player advantage, but I think now more than ever, you saw Pine Forest is actually better on the ball individually. Why give them the opportunity and space for them to make a decision? Cut them off with the pass. I was talking about really have that shadow defense in play to make sure you shut the door as quick as possible.
I agree. A little pep in your step on the defense will suit EE Smith A's team well. It even gives themselves a chance to work this magic on the offensive side. Divian cushions the lead.
Yeah, talk about using the crossbar, using both sides of the goal to your advantage. This one here was pretty much an easy textbook play, and back to what we're saying about distributing the ball across the net. EE Smith, 2-goal advantage with about 8 seconds to go.
See if they can hold on to that momentum. Divian does win on the kickoff, beat the kickoff player from Pine Forest in quite swift fashion. It does still allow for Pine Forest to attack, though. First shot goes loose, second shot was close, but ZZ forming on transition almost gets it around Extinct, but instead climbs back into possession for EE Smith. Z takes it off the side wall. Instinct was prepared for it and tries to get a pass out to Lags. Lags maneuvering this ball in the midfield, given a lot of time to play this towards the net. A flick's there, but it's not hard enough to get to the net. There's a follow, though, by Extinct. That was not between the uprights. Come on, there's got to be the accuracy on the shot. Extinct, there's your chance, and there it falls through.
Yeah, this was a cascade of errors. It really was E. Smith slowing down, trying to wait to see what Pine Forest is going to do. And if you do that too quickly, too often, I mean, you're going to have a shot you can't foresee. And that's what happened there. Pine Forest got lucky with that goal, but they're within one, and maybe can make their own luck later on.
Admirable, though, to see them continue that possession. I mean, when you're down 2 with under a minute remaining, you've got to go for it. And so setting up camp in the opposition has worked out for them. They have a chance to do that in the final 30 as Lags tries to get a tiny touch pass out to Extinct, but there's too much clustering for EE Smith for that to be allowed. Shot doesn't go there for EE Smith's A team as they have to work back on the defense. Extinct and Lags both take the shot, force 2 defenders on it as it's kicked up high. Divian the clear's not hard enough, though, as Extinct gets back, but the dunk certainly is. That's a massive 50-50 for EE Smith to give them a great chance to come out on top with this win, and they'll do just that. EE Smith A continues a winning streak.
Well, here you go. It's the reason we call them insurance goals, right? Sometimes you score 2, you go, I think I'm good, I'm going to park the bus. No, you need all 4 to get the dub here, so glad I did that.
It's nice. It's impressive, but it did come down to the wire. Pine Forest, even just with 2 players, the magic that they're able to create, Novanta, I'm incredibly impressed by it. For me personally, I wouldn't be able to see the 3 wishes that was given to the genie. Okay, I wouldn't have seen it. I would have saw a dusty little piece of china, and I would have walked right on by. But these 2, I really feel like they've got some magic and can extend the series.
You talk about mindset when it comes to Rocket League. It really takes a moment to go to your partner and go, well, we're down by 1. The odds of us are winning are pretty low. Let's just do it. And I give them all the credit in the world for going for it, especially on stream of all things.
That charisma, I think, is that magic that I'm thinking of. So I appreciate you bringing that to reality. It's just that camaraderie of, you know what, let's just do it. Let's just give it what we got. But there's no charisma needed for just 2. How about a 3rd? That's right. My Riz is crazy has come in for Pine Forest to even out the squad at 3.
Wait, how that happened? Was it like someone pointed to the stands and then someone just put on their jersey and got into a car? Like, what happened in 60 seconds? I have no idea.
All I know is that their Riz is crazy, Novanta. It's not crazy enough, though. We talked about charisma. I think that's what Riz is short for, but the feeling on the pitch is not going to always translate to the defensive stops that need to happen.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. The result was pretty much the same, even with the 3v3, but talk about adjustment periods, right? The last series we talked about going into scrims and getting yourself warm. EE Smith has to adjust on the fly, and so far, the past 9 has to fly in colors.
I'll tell you what, though, where Pine Forest had to really sacrifice that third man positioning, they don't have to anymore. With 3 cars on the field, they can expand their range of play. They can put a little more trust into the sequential order of their team. As long as My Riz is Crazy fits in well with this team, their dynamics can certainly benefit them.
We talked about those rhythm before about E. Smith dealing with 2v3 versus 3v3, but you're right. You get to be so used to covering a lot of ground in 2's rotations to go into 3's rotations. There is a bit of adjustment period, which is why when I play Rocket League, I almost never do both playlists at once because you always need to be out of position when it's all said and done. So let's see if Pine Forest tightens it up.
That couldn't be more true. So unique challenge here for Pine Forest, but a minute's already gone by and they have a chance to really take advantage of this little change in momentum because truthfully, E.E. Smith also have to adapt against playing against 2 and now playing against 3. They're already on the defensive line as well with Extinct trying to put a shot towards the net. The side flip was not enough though to take it between the posts. There's a good shot though for Lags as they intercept everybody else's order, get the shot in.
I think almost everyone thought the drive was over and everyone was kind of focused, but the drop down right to Lags, no one saw it coming. No one could react in time, and we have ourselves once again a tie game.
Love this. I love the fact that we got a tie game and even amount of players on the field. I mean, this is what we wanted here between 2 competent teams, and now it's exactly what we will get. The better team truly will move on, will get that win in the group stage, and certainly it can be the better team with precision like this. Great placement from Extinct.
Oh my gosh, special delivery up, over, and just right down. Wow, you call that a dagger? I call that an arrow to the heart. 2-1 go-ahead goal is in position. 3 minutes ago, Pine Forest is rolling.
Whew, that's some momentum to work off of. That steam engine is pumping right now, and they got a lot of railroads still to get through. 3 minutes on the clock, and a big demolition there from Lags to try to open it up for Extinct, but they bumped them on the rotation out. This is the disaster that can occur when you rotate ball side. Sometimes those demos do not help you. Instead, ZZ takes the shot, and Divian almost there for a follow-up, but it won't go in either. Pine Forest able to hold up on defense.
Yeah, it didn't work out for E. Smith, but it was definitely a good position to go on there. Just that it was a bit too much traffic to go ahead. But as I'm saying, that's going the other way. Last is ever for Zena Gomez, and what a save on the line. But it's not enough. My Riz is mid, but My Riz is crazy. Just scored.
Oh, man. And we were waiting for the big come up from this player that just entered into the server out of nowhere. And all it took was one moment to shine. And boy, did we get a true sunbeam there. Pine Forest. We were surprised with a lead from this team, but now they've extended it.
Yeah, they extended it. It does look a whole different team, a whole different game, a whole different series, a whole different tournament now. E. Smith is rolling after having such a comfortable time in the last game and the last series.
ZZ. All right, close on that effort. It's going to be Lags instead. Pine Forest, so much still to prove even with a 2-goal lead that their 3-player squadron is to be believed in and that this game too is no fluke. Lags, a touch up, does land right in the lap of Extinct, and they are firing on all cylinders right now.
Wow, how about that? I was wondering, I don't know about chemistry, add a brother person, it can be kind of weird, but it is night and day for Pine Forest.
Whew. Yeah, the sun is shining like we said. And I'll tell you what, it's looking a little dark, cloudy, and stormy over there for E.E. Smith's A team. They want to prove that they're not just the A team when compared to their B team, but to any other North Carolina high school team. If they want that proof in the pudding, they're going to have to get some goals to go.
Yeah, absolutely. I know game 3 is an option, but I bet they didn't want to come down to a game 3. But if their scoreline holds, that may be their only option moving forward. Witching hour, 1:23 to go. Pine Forest has found the key to E. Smith's porous defense.
Oh, Lena Gomez tries to set up a pass there for their teammate, but the shot goes right back off the backboard opening there for Divian, but Lag somehow intercepts like a lightning bolt. Just flashes on the goal line and gets a save.
Yeah, lightning bolt is not the half of it. Definitely was a you should not pass. Wand on ground. Oh my goodness, that was a save of the game.
Oh my, with stops like that, how do you get past this Pine Forest team? Keeping E.E. Smith A stuck at 1 has been a true route to success for Pine Forest. 40 seconds left and Extinct once more. Midfield pass out to Lags. That duo still trying to shine. Myers is crazy. That third man back on defense, but it won't crush and kill EE Smith's attack. Oh, 2 shot takers, but nobody gets a piece of it.
Yeah, see, that exchange was kind of scary there for Pine Forest, but it was the right move. Had Myers is crazy boomed it downfield, it would have been snapped back as quick as possible. But with the shot to the right of the net, was able to tick off precious seconds and to recalibrate the offensive attack.
The clock clearly in Pine Forest's favor after that exchange, and now seconds dwindling to 0. Pine Forest, what a breakout performance now that their squadron is full as they win game number 2 and force a third.
Wow, that to me was a difference. A difference a third car makes to ease up some of the pressure and to apply the pressure to their opponent. That was a fun one to watch.
And you know, we had a lot of questions about the impact that Myers is Crazy would have other than filling out the roster and allowing a 3v3 rotation to occur. But when the moment arose for Myers is Crazy to pop off, the pop-off was there. The execution occurred. So I couldn't talk more about this Pine Forest roster and what all 3 are capable of.
Yeah, Pyro J, that's advice for life. If someone gives you the opportunity to pop off, you pop off. Doesn't matter if it's the club, at school, at work. Pop off where you can, man. Why not?
We're trying to pop off out here. We're trying to get excited. We're having a great time, guys, in this high school action here for VESL. So many high school teams have come out to show what they are capable of, how they can pop off here for this Season 2 action. And it has been nothing but excellent for the group stages. It continues here with game number 3 between EE Smith and Pine Forest to see who comes out with the win in this series.
Yeah, it definitely feels like EE Smith has a lot of impression, perhaps possibly self-inflicted after dropping game 2, after having a comfortable win with the 1-car advantage in game 1. So I expect them to be a lot more aggressive, especially in the corners.
All right, well, that aggression definitely taking place here as the corner domination occurs to be in favor of EE Smith. Divian getting plenty of 50-50s, does a great job of holding on to possession for EE Smith, and, well, breaking under the pressure is Pine Forest. They just don't get the defensive touch to work.
Yeah, well, that same kind of shot I was giving praise for really much set up that shot for EE Smith. Probably if it was let go, it probably would have went wide of net, but doesn't matter now. You're down by 1. Let's see if I have the answer.
Answer certainly needed. Maybe not immediately, but definitely the tone center no longer in favor for Pine Forest, and I don't think they're too happy about it. Lags is going back just to support Myers is Crazy on the defense, and now the trust being broken a little bit. Myers is Crazy had the positioning prepared for that save, but instead, Lags feeling like they need to make every play on defense. Instinct helping them out as well with that cutoff and the turnaround. Hold on, 7 boost turns to 20 for this offensive chance. Ball skies up towards the ceiling as Extinct gets a piece of it, but it's drawn out.
Well, it was drawn out for a little bit. I thought it was going to be a goal there, but looks like everyone had other plans. Kind of that hot potato action we have. Every car is in the corner and against the wall because no one really wants to concede the game because they really could put a whole new dimple on things.
Our touch from Alina Gomez stretches to the corner. Big boost taken as well. ZZ has to react to this and kind of shadow defend / get a little bit of chances for themselves on the ball. Lags loses possession, goes for the demolition and enacts upon it. But there's no keen follow there until the shot from Myers is Crazy. There was a chance at the net and boy did they take it.
This reminds me of the time I went to the grocery store and I had like 8 mangoes, but I didn't want to buy a plastic bag. It was like, whoa, 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 just slip through every bit of the defense right into net. Those are the kind of goals you don't want to concede because it has egg on your face, no pun intended. And now we're at 1-1 once more.
Eggs on your face, mangoes on the floor, a true disaster here for EE Smith as they're looking to pick up the pieces and shape up an attack for themselves to get back in the driver's seat. Pine Forest, though, doing a great job of getting back into this game.
Well, that's really cool for them because I was wondering whether or not if EE Smith had figured them out. Obviously not if you're able to have a goal like that slot in there, but now comes the hard work. Now you really got to take them out of the game psychologically if you're Pine Forest, and if EE Smith, you have to go back to that tight, crisp defense you had in the first minute of the proceedings.
Oh, that third man defense has been so reliant for Pine Forest. Doesn't hold up too well when there's somebody taking them out of the equation. ZZ, a big heads up play to move past the ball and take out the final defender.
Well, yeah, that bump play is something that people don't really think about when tensions are riding high. So that tells you about the overall mental state of E.E. Smith, that they have the composure to make that a possibility and happen. So I do think they're very much still in the game here, and we're really thinking about psychological output.
Well, that's a touch there from Extinct that just lands right back in the hands of Alina Gomez. Divian goes straight for the gold. Gets the dunk, but it goes out wide. ZZE is having some pressure from the half-court line. That offensive rotation deep enough to keep their attack going, but is broken loose now. Alina Gomez trying to keep up with this ball, but is right back in the lap of Extinct, but they bump into their teammate. Hard to keep hold of the ball when you're running in to your own squadron members. This one, though, a big opening, and oh, Myers is crazy. Was on the inside rather than the outside. Would have been a great shot opportunity had they been positioned for it.
Yeah, you know what? Talking about coulda, woulda, shoulda. That was another opportunity there wasted, but I really thought they were confused of where that ball was going to go, and they were in the wrong position before it. So it happens to everyone. The idea now is not to go all dang and shucks, but really wait for the next opportunity to get that back.
Ooh, that looked like something for sure. That was like balancing on the tightrope there with the ball on the goal line, and I guess it didn't fall. As still, this game meets a bit of a steady hand. I don't know how much stability there is right now, though. The pressure seems to be both on either team as we are a minute remaining, and with one singular play, Novanta, the whole game could change.
Yeah, the one thing neither team wants to be in a situation, especially in Game 3, is in a one-goal environment. E.E. Smith can feel the pressure. I know Pine Forest is feeling the pressure as well. So we're going to see a lot of more individual effort to try to see who's going to be the hero here.
ZZE taking it across the field. And maybe clears like that don't give them a clear goal, but it does take time off the clock. Precious seconds dwindling right now. We're at the half-minute mark. E.E. Smith, if you hold on, you can turn this series back in your favor. You can win it. They might not even need to hold on. That was a big look for them. But it goes awry. It turns around on them. Pine Forest stealing boost, collecting the ball. Might just get a chance in this final 15. Extinct off the backboard. Lags in for the shot. Just as the defense. It does just that. Ties it up with 11 to go.
Clutch. Catching in the corner. And here's the pop out right down. And you had Lags unmarked. Had a shot. Had to go in. And it happened. The definition of clutch.
No defender thought the ball would be placed there on the inside. They had their backs to it, and it was a perfect placement for Lags. Job's not finished. Still, singular digits on regulation time. ZZE's taking out the final defender. The ball just has to bounce into the net, and it does! Alina Gomez credited with that big winning goal.
I think I see all the orange eggs hanging their head. They thought there was going to be an overtime situation, but in regulation, last gas, E.E. Smith has a go-ahead goal.
Ooh, that is something special right there. ZZE, that's not even the first time that we saw that type of play take place, but the game's not over. Lags, not one to be denied on a play like this, but off that double tap attempt, the ball goes to the ground, and there you have it. E.E. Smith takes the nail-biter win in Game 3.
Yeah, you know, coulda, woulda, shoulda. If Pine Forest had all three cars throughout the whole series, it might be a different thing. But who am I to speculate and postulate and pontificate? E.E. Smith moves on, and really a fantastic display of their skills.
Tell you what, a fantastic display of the North Carolina high school esports teams that are out here. If you're just tuning into the Rocket League action, you are catching the best of the group action that we have for you. And guess what? We've got more after this quick break. Hello and welcome back. We're dropping right back into the VESL Rocket League action here. North Carolina high school teams going at it. And we've got ourselves a match here, Novanta. Wake Leadership Academy is coming on back here against Green Level. Best of 3 has begun, and so has the goal scoring.
What? I settled down to have my popcorn, and I look up, and there's a doink goal? What just happened?
You know what, and this is Sensei, a player that we've seen already. Green Level has really poised themselves to be a menace today. I believe they're 1-1 on the matches that we've seen from them so far, and Sensei's been one of those players that I've been impressed with the most, but that one got a little bit away from him.
Yeah, he's kind of in the wrong place at the wrong time. 30 seconds gone here, 1 goal scored, and Wake Leadership Academy has an advantage. I'm not sure they were expecting it. Let's see what they do to disrupt their goal line account.
We just got information as well. Both teams here are good to move on to next day's action. That is in the group stage where there's 4 teams and 1 doesn't make it, but these 2 are both good. It's more so seeding that these 2 teams will be working off of. They'll have an easier Thursday with a win here.
Well, you know what? That's what you want, right? In tournament plays. Give yourself a chance to have an easy goal, and that was a goal that was difficult to get off. That was close to being passed in that. But yeah, I mean, props to them. You know, you want to be able to do the hard work now to give yourself a better position to walk away with more dubs later on.
No doubt about it. Oh, Popox. Okay, lurking around the ball for a bit long there. I would have liked to seen a no loitering sign on the sidewalk, but no hanging around done here. This is straight to the net here for help me out here, Novant, on the pronunciation. Something goat.
Yeah, you know what? Yada goat? Yada goat.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I'll take that. And also, you know, when I was in high school, I loaded all the time because I didn't really have a job. I had nowhere to go after school. I was kind of a menace that way. But that said, that was the first goal that really felt that it was theirs, and that shows the kind of play we're going to see here from Wake Leadership Academy.
It sounds like goat activity to me, and it will be the same when I ask you for the pronunciation of Yada Goat's teammate, as that's just a winky face from what I can see.
You gotta say it like that, winky face. What a shot!
It sounds perfect to me. I like it. We are getting all the unique plays though coming out from Wake Leadership Academy, and they have translated to 2 goals already for their 2 players. But how about the infield passing coming out here? Popox lends it right out to Sensei, but nothing goes for them. They're still looking for that edge, but yet to find it.
Yeah, that's one of the situations here. You talk about being at a disadvantage of having 2 cars, but Green Level A just seems to be on ice skates here. How to handle the kind of unorthodox offense from Wake Leadership Academy, and you can tell that by the scoreline here. 3 up, 3-0 is the score.
It's impressive to say the least. 3 goals indeed, and you just have a feeling that there is more to come. Yada Goat has to go back towards their own goal line though, as that one maybe not the most controlled touch they were looking for. This one given a lot of time to flick up and maybe get a second touch as well. No small hop and decides to rotate back. Of course, I think that Wake Leadership Academy are very observant to when their turnarounds aren't going to work, and instead they will make sure they have a defensive line proper for the attack at Green Level.
Yeah, well, go about the plans you have drawn up all you want, but it comes down to the execution. I really feel like this idea won't last forever. So if you're Wake Leadership Academy, get all the goals you can, because once Green Level wakes up, it's going to be a whole new ball game.
And I actually love this for Popox as well, because earlier on, Popox in a great infield pass scenario kind of had a light touch. Didn't really have the juice that I was looking for on the strike, but that time around, so opportunistic, just precise with the goal scoring, and it looks like all of Green Level is very much in this game.
Yeah, they're in this game, but time is of the essence. I know 2 minutes is a long time to score 3 goals. In fact, I've seen people score 10 goals in 2 minutes, but if you're not really focused on your plan of attack, those 2 minutes can feel like 2 seconds.
Yeah, and in a blink of an eye, it looks like Wake Leadership Academy have another chance before them, although it's taken against them now because Green Level, they're right back at it. As this ball just getting ping pong one side or the other. It's sticking to the side wall. Nobody can break it loose until now. It's off the ceiling in front of the net, and in that dangerous position, Needy Muscles gets a clear, gets a shot, and that's going to be a second goal for them to get that comeback working.
Yeah, with that 2 minutes ago game time, we're like, oh man, Wake Leadership Academy is going to run away with this. And I go, oh wait, Green Level is just that good to find themselves a path to dig themselves out of a hole, and they're one goal away from doing just that.
Can they make that comeback? A completed affair. They will win the kickoff by a small edge, but Winky Face there to keep it near the half-court line. A Yada Goat shot there, but angle's not enough. Now, Needy Muscles has been very strong on these transitions and really flexing their muscles off a demolition. Almost the wrong side there for Winky Face, and they'll get punished for it. Sensei, third goal, and finally tying it up for Green Level.
In a blink of an eye, that really strong lead has all but evaporated. It is now level with a minute to go. This is a reset of game one.
Love to see it turn that 5 minute to a 1 minute and let the sudden death occur. It could be just one more goal that tells the tale of game number one, especially as the chance is given to Green Level. 2 shots fired. Yada Goat in front of both. Great wall to put up to stifle the attack of Green Level.
Yeah, I think every car is forward at this point in time. You know, you realize you're down a car, and now your leaders are kind of gone, but you're still not out of it. You know, having a tight game should not feel like a loss. But right now, Wake Leadership Academy doesn't get themselves back in the game. It could be, and that was their opportunity there to have goal number 4.
That was like right place, right time, as they were just able to get it outside of their own net. Now that they've turned it around, can they spin another goal in their favor? It would be 4 in a row. Or it would be at least 3 in a row, but it would give them 4 goals for the victory off that demolition. Needy Muscles trying to find the pass, but it's intercepted. They telegraphed their opportunity a little too much, and as that interjection occurred, Wake Leadership tried taking advantage and pulling it towards the net, but demos all across the field will just bring us to overtime.
Yeah, Green Level got a little bit greedy there, tried to run the clock to do a last-ditch goal in a silver goal situation, but Wake Leadership was not having none of that, and out came the demos, and that was kind of fun to watch, to be honest with you.
We love an explosive affair, and it was similar off that kickoff. The positioning was just better for Green Level off the 3v2. It gave them initial possession, and they've been working off that ever since, even 20 seconds after. The advantage seems to be gone, though. A Yada Goat. It's a bouncer from the midfield line that tells the final story of game number 1.
So I get it, you gotta go with the shot. I'm not sure what happened there. Why the 2 cars just have no idea where that ball was going? And, well, Leadership, a car down, gets the dub.
It does indeed, and it's tough to see it end that way. Green Level's A team had worked so hard to make that comeback occur. I mean, we were kind of talking about it, that it was possible, and it's funny that that's even the case when it was 3v2 in their favor, but good on them to get some stability in the game and come so close to eking out that win.
I would love to see how that story unfolds. I think we're going to the other side of the bracket here. Green Hope against Enlo with 2:56 to go. 5-1 for Green Hope, looking easily for number 6.
Certainly are. I mean, we've seen all these players already today. Green Hope, I remember being a team that I couldn't choose one single player to keep your eyes on. Everyone from that team has shown up. But I'll tell you what's showing up right now. How about Maddie's P with that Merc? You were asking for that hitbox earlier, Novante. Well, there it is.
That's when you know tournaments are serious, when the Merc comes out, baby. Green Hope with the lead, but I ask you for how long once Merc action happens in full gear. But that said, though, you have Inlow coming out a 4-goal disadvantage, and I really feel like they have an idea, path to victory. Green Hope, as good as they are a little bit slow on that first touch, and so they have an opportunity here to take the ball to go the other way, but maybe they have the same problems, and that's going into the net. No, it's not. What is happening, Pyro? Walk me through this one.
I'll do my best here. I mean, it's Jack where we think the clear is going to happen, but off the wall from Div 1 Bronze, they just put it right towards the net. And with the chaos that ensued, it was enough pinball action for Green Hope to get the better of it. We don't know how all the rest of the goals happened, Novante, in this game, but if they all happen like that, I don't know how we can predict what could possibly happen in this game. Hold on. Jack, where did this come from? The aerial, the reset. What a play.
Yeah, Jack covered a lot of ground, 1, and reset the perfect time to draw out 2 defenders, 2. That right there was one of the smartest goals we've seen all night.
Beautifully done, and I'm glad we got to see that from Jack. But with this match here of Green Level and Wake Leadership Academy having inclinations as to who's going to get the easier Thursday, we have to see how this one continues. Of course, Wake Leadership did win game 1 in overtime, but it's still going to be a tough affair to win this game 2.
Yeah, you can imagine that, winning 2 straight, being at a cart disadvantage. That might be the stuff of legends, but you can't think about Thursday. You got to think about right now. 425 will separate between you and your destiny here in this tournament. So you got to put one card in front of the other, one ball in front of the other, and get some goals.
And you gotta put on a display of mechanics as well. You gotta go. It's so crisp with that power slide. It's an underrated mechanic in this game, but if you can drift in front of the ball and create a wall in front of it as much as you want, it's going to be a nuisance to your opponents. And a Yada Goat, I mean, a nuisance doesn't sound like a compliment, but it certainly is, as they are annoying the heck out of Green Level.
Well, you know what? That's the best way to say it. You have that kind of offensive and defensive positioning that just frustrates your opponent, to force them to make mistakes because they want to be able to show you up or make sure that you are not a threat. And those are the kind of play styles that end up winning because you really take your opponent out the game.
What can they do to ensure that they're still in the driver's seat? Of course, it's been an impressive affair from this squad, as they have had to do the 2v3 ever since the start of game 1, but clearly off of that one person down, any small mistake, Novanta, can lead to a failure of defense and a goal scored on them. Little mistakes to be seen though. Winky Face, just a power shot for the 3rd goal.
How come when I say stuff, the opposite happens, but when you say stuff, the thing actually happens? I don't like that, but you're right. Defensive mistakes causes real catastrophes, and that's what we saw right there. 3-1 there for Wake. You know what? I gotta say, they look every bit the stronger team without having to worry about a 3rd card.
Yeah, you know what? That's impressive. The last time we worried about a 3rd card, they came and helped with the comeback. But this time around, it wasn't even a 3rd card. This is the kickoff. Needy Muscles needed no assist, needed no help, just a strong front flick to the net.
Got to give them credit for taking their time and understanding where the defensive markers were and pick an idea that worked for them, and that's why we're within 1.
So impressive there, letting the mechanics shine here for a great player like Needy Muscles, who's been popping off since the start. But everybody's got to pop off. Everybody's got to get a piece of that ball. When it doesn't occur, kickoff goals can just continue.
Yeah, how many kickoff goals have you seen in one game? This might be on a pace for a record. Winky Face, Smiley Face, Emoticon makes it 4-2.
Nice work there, and I have a feeling there's a smile on that face of the player here as they are continuing to get goals in this otherwise unique scenario, and usually disadvantageous, but they've got the advantage on the scoreboard. They could extend it here with a shot and a demolition as well. Follow from Winky Face off the crossbar and out, about as close as it could come.
Well, the shot on was going to be in, was cleared away. The second shot got crossing the crossbar, and then, well, I don't want to say that would be a turning point, but when you have situations like that, that should be ones you put past the net pretty easily.
For sure, it was lofted in front of the net for quite some time, but that angle on the shot just wasn't enough. That said, Winky Face, full boost on their own backboard, so the redemption arc could be coming, and it could just come with a pass out to Yada Goat. That's going to be the player to get this ball across the field and on to the other way. Needy Muscles needing to play big on defense, and it's enough of a push out to give them a chance on the possession.
Look, I understand when you have a card advantage, you want to have one person play back to be that kind of goalie situation, but that is a mistake because you put yourself in bad positions, and so everyone has to move up. They get the goal here, but I will say everyone needs to play up a little bit more for Green Level if you want that 4th goal quickly.
That's a fact. Play up and dominate that midfield. You got a car extra. It should be, I don't want to say easy because I'm so impressed with Wake Leadership and how they position just with 2 players, but fortune does favor you here. And if you can catch those open balls in the midfield, you can get shot opportunities like that. Sensei had one quick off the rip from the kickoff. It didn't go, but how about this power shot up the sidewall? Yada Goat says, that's it. Forget the tricks, forget the trades. I just want to boom this straight to the net.
Hey, boom shots are fantastic, but here's why that boom shot was smart. It really wasn't just looking for any part of the net. It was a top 90 in the corner, knowing full well it was the opposite of everyone else was, giving it more chance of going in the net there, and that's what happened. 5-3 there, and that could have been a little bit of start of a bit of a run there for Wake leadership.
Love that brawn and brain there coming out for Yada Goat on the 5th goal. And with this high scoring affair, there may just need to be more than 5 goals needed to get this win as Green Level look prone to scoring maybe another, and they do score another, but it is not on the right net. This is not where they wanted to be on this play.
Yeah, you gotta go with the shot there, and it says, well, allow me, and then you had a little bit of help from your opponent. Those are the ones you hang your head at and say, hey, I'm sorry in the VC, but I gotta talk about the fortune going Wake leadership's way, with 90 seconds, 3 goals up, and it's looking every bit about their game to lose.
You hang your head and you say sorry, or you laugh it off. You know, some of these own goals, some of these plays, you just gotta scoff at and move right along. It's, if you played Rocket League, you know it happens. Novanta and I sure do. Me more than I'd like to admit. That said, 3 goals needed for Green Level if they want to stick around in this series.
Now, I wonder this, if you're awake, do you try to park the bus here? I mean, do you try to slow things down? Do you try to put that goal number 7? It really has a lot of options because you are a man down, what you're going to employ. But what it seems right now is pretty smart for them. Very short clears and being knocked away to the sides that could waste precious seconds on attack.
Ooh, all right. Every second taken for what it's worth. Needy Muscles. Really impressed with the last 10 to 20 seconds of play. This is not only a fantastic setup and shot off the wall, but earlier on in the midfield had faked to go right and instead took center field for a shot as well. I think Needy Muscles is in a position of this series where they're like, you know what, if I need to do it myself, I will.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes you got to do that. You got to say, hey, look, I understand it's a team game. I know everyone has time to shine, but like a great band, you got to have a guitar solo every once in a while. And that's what we saw right there.
All right, can they tune towards a lead? It's going to be so difficult, but they've got elevated chance on this ball. Shot taken by Sensei, broken up by Winky Face. Needy Muscles trying to beat Winky Face. It's just a pitter patter there in the midfield. That eventually is broken up as a Yada Goat takes it right above Needy Muscles, trying to just control this ball and keep the seconds down. Winky Face makes a big save, but there's another shot to block. Kicks it up high, and that should be enough to survive. Thriving in this series was Wake as they take the win in Game 2.
Oh, man, look, I don't want to be all doom and gloom there, but if I'm Green Level, I'll be left scratching my head going, what happened? What the heck happened? But not taking away from Wake leadership, they understood the assignment, they understood the challenge, and they found a way to adapt.
Adaptability is paramount there, and fantastic from the two of Wake leadership. They take the win there. And excited to see more from that team as them and their opponents will both move on to day number 4 here on Thursday. That being said, we've got yet this match still to go. Game 1's affair was an 11-2 win here for Green Hope. And something tells me they're a bit on pace for that again.
Yeah, there's sometimes you're in the pocket, you know what you need to do, and you just can't stop scoring. And that is to be an abundance of goals here for Green Hope. And if anything would be the same, it's going to be a straight set for them.
Let's see how it is. Off the kickoff, Enlo almost find a gimme. And that would have certainly been the one thing that could maybe turn this thing around. Kickoff goals always are that hot flash in a pan moment where you can get the ball to your net, but after things have settled down, have cooled down a bit, it's Iron Welder high on this shot. Almost maneuvers it towards the net. Crazy Shark wants to take possession of the ball. Comes from the ceiling. Musty Flick is going to miss contact. So Green Hope not succeeding on that offensive affair.
Yeah, I bet Iron Welder won that shot back because they had both defenders beat. Just really had to concentrate and bring it down. It just got a little bit wide. Sometimes you wonder if the post is working for the other guys, but it was denying the line that time.
Oh, Maddie just working that back wall, trying to be on the prowl at the right time. But like Spider-Man, just crawling on that wall maybe needs to slingshot out for one other attack to propel an offense for Enlo. Otherwise, they'll stay cooped up on their rack side, and they'll be playing defense for ages. Almost a break there, given the demolition and the shot chance, but missing their mark again is Green Hope as the score stays at 4-0.
Looked like it was going to be a goal on the run there for Div 1 Bras and Green Hope to get number 5 on the board. Not that they need it necessarily, but they want to be able to shut the door as quickly as possible. Final 90 seconds here. Enlo has it. Nary a response. A goal in this one. Looking for at least one for the road.
Kicked up high. Crazy Shark. Pass out to Div 1 Bronze. There it is. And especially after bump on the Merc, that big target bustled out for the goal.
Well, we talked about nickels. There's another nickel right there. 5 goals up. Not a response from Enlo. And it's looking like the eggs are filing out of the stadium as we speak. That right there could be the end there for that side.
Oh, man. Come on, eggs. I know the pressure's on them, but as they scramble away, it's Iron Welder with the best control we could see. One fake, almost a flick past the second to dice up the entire defense of Enlo.
Yeah, I mean, Iron Welder didn't have to do all that to him. Really beat both of them. Just didn't have the shot on frame. But, hey, look, you have time to really workshop new approaches at net with the lead as convincing as that. Why not this juncture?
I'll say, before this match does close, just shout out to Jack, because, I mean, we've seen double taps from this player. They truly do have that individual capability. It just hasn't all fit together for Enlo. Against a difficult team of Green Hope. So there are definitely those plays off the sidewall like this from Jack that are so impressive. But with 3 staunch defenders from Green Hope, it's just too tough to get by.
Yeah, that kind of happens a lot of times in tournament play where you just have all the tools, you have all the opportunities, but you kind of run out of gas, no pun intended, when it comes to a certain matchup, and that's just to be the name of the case, as Green Hope gets number 6 for this one. And as I say, Enlo is in trouble or they aren't a good squad, it's right up to their proverbial brick wall.
Just allowed so much control here for Green Hope to utilize all the tools they have in their kit. I mean, when the shot taker there is given the time to turn to their underside and flip the ball up, that just means the challenge never came quickly enough, if I'm going to be frank about it. But how about one for the road? Call out Jack as that one player that could really give Green Hope a run for their money, and he does just that with this breakaway play.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about that because, I mean, I love to get one for the road, but then you set yourself up for the Brazil, so you're like, I don't know if I would do that personally, but hey, man, props for getting it done.
We'll see if they can cut off the chance for the Brazil. They've got a good look here off the kickoff. Maddie's not able to get the touch they're looking for. Jack and their teammate get the double touch, and that ball might just go to the ground, so no Brazil here, but still a win, and a convincing one for Green Hope in Game 2.
I think convincing is an understatement. It was really 2 games back-to-back that really showed how good that side is.
Dominant fashion there for Green Hope as they take it in this VESL League. Incredible games that we've seen so far, whether they're 3v2 or 3v3, Novanta.
Yeah, I mean, that's something you don't really see every day, but when you see that here in this tournament, we've seen both results result from that. So it's not even an excuse anymore. It's kind of like a thing, which is pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. I'm enjoying the variety of it. And folks, we still have more action to get to. One more block of games right after this very short break. Welcome back once again, everybody, to the VESL North Carolina Rocket League action. We've gotten through plenty of matches today. Myself, Pyro J, and my compadre today, Novanta. But we got one more block of matches to get through, Novanta, as we spring right into the action.
Yeah, Piedmont Charter on the one side of the screen, Gaston EC on the other side of the screen, and you know that we talk about the tournament play and what it means for the winners of these brackets, the winners of these group stages. So I'm going to see how everyone's going to attack this game one. Of course, the return of Lightly McQueen. I'm so happy to see that. It's pretty cool.
I am too. I am Speed out here, Mr. Lightning McQueen, being represented by Waffles here. And that was Waffles who was kind of part of the equation there on defense, really trying to get in front of it. Dino Nuggy at this point looking to counter as well. And Piedmont Charter just trying to get that win under their belt.
Yeah, you know, having a dub and making sure it's something that doesn't make you sweat is always great. Look, I understand gutsy wins are fantastic because you see, like, hey, look, I overcame a challenge. But sometimes you want to be able to put yourself in a position to make it a short set. And that's why you're seeing everyone with cars forward. Almost a game 2 type of aggression here in game 1.
Ooh, and the aggression's going to pay off. There's XP Waz, as this player had some pop-off moments earlier when we saw Gaston. And they are right at it here to pop off on the first minute or so.
Yeah, that one there was a goal that's class. I'm not sure it's going to be goal of the night, but to have the speed to go around the horn and take out an opponent and find a way to hit the top of that net is something that anyone probably would have overshot if having the opportunity there. So well done.
Yeah, they're going to hope for more chances there as the ball's just kind of towing the goal line. But instead, we're here at the midfield. Piedmont Charter trying to get their first solid look. They're going to have to combat it in the corner, and Dino Nuggy does that well. It's a quick take towards the net, does go wide, but it proves that Piedmont Charter, they can get these shots to go no matter where the ball is. However, with Jerry sitting in the net there, wasn't in prime location or speed to get to that save.
Yeah, look, I don't want to sit here and belabor a point, but that's kind of the reason why we don't sit in net. Even though we think about it as soccer, you really want to be as dynamic as possible to do things with momentum. Sitting there, you're a sitting duck, and that's exactly what happened. The rain came down from the heavens, and now it's 2-0.
Oh man, more rain to come down here. Waffles with a high shot there that was dropping down in front of the net, but tell you what, the Gaston defense has held together since the beginning of this game. And off of some physicality, still trying to push this towards the net. And wonderfully done as XP Waz takes on the whole defense and puts them to pieces.
Yeah, that's ice in the veins. To go out there with the backside roll with the Octane. Usually that's something a Dominus would do because you have the longer body, but having able to snub nose Octane to do that is all precision. Doesn't matter though, ball goes right in the net, uncontested, 3-0.
Ooh, that one wasn't contested. Hot off the press of the kickoff. That was Gaston trying to find a fourth, but Piedmont Charter said, I've been boxed enough in this ring. I'm ready to take some punches and swing it right back at you.
Yeah, you know what? I love the little bit of back and forth because it shows that both teams understand what they have to do to come up with countermeasures, and that's what big Rocket League, what a bump. That's what good Rocket League is really all about. What we're seeing now is been that ping pong action. Nobody wants to do the short passes, so we're seeing that little shot into the mid pitch to see who has a better flick game, but that was knocked away.
Piedmont Charter would have had a great chance to work this off an open midfield, and it's going to be Waffles that takes it straight into the entirety of the defense. They're going to need reinforcements from Jerry and certainly get it. A booming clear off to the other side. Dino Nuggy for the shot. Just lands on the outside of that post. You see the opportunities percolating there for Piedmont Charter. They're able to take shots, but unless they fire away between the uprights, they're just not going to get a goal to go.
Yeah, I bet any Rocket League coach worth their salt's probably shaking their head there. Like, which one do you call? Gaston's with their triplicate going for it, Cirque du Soleil style, or Piedmont Charter not being able to capitalize with the whole team up in the air? And as I say that, Gaston puts an end to my suffering with goal number 4.
It's not exactly the most cohesive Rocket League, but it has translated into 4 goals for Gaston. So at this point, there is a clear winner in this matchup. Yes, there's some hiccups for Gaston, but when they turn around and look to the net, they appear to be very productive.
Yeah, absolutely. I think when you have this kind of level of Rocket League and you see if no one scores, that's a big problem. But you figure out what your opponent's doing, even if it's kind of unorthodox to say the least, and find a way to put that to your goal account. They're all winning here. Late in this one, game one, Gaston knows it's a late series stream. They know it's almost midnight on the East Coast, approaching that, I should say. So they're going to be able to attack this as quickly as possible.
All right, well, attack is going to need from Jerry as they're doing a whole lot of defense off the crossbar, and they've got to get behind the goal line to save this away. Come on now. What am I watching, Novanta? Please paint me a picture.
Well, I was going to say midnight, but that was definitely 12:01, right? Ball was hanging out there. No one was doing it and got slotted in there. Gaston with a little bit of a nudge. Not all goals are going to be perfect. You just got to be there, and they were there for that one.
Well, everyone was quote-unquote there, but someone needed to deliver.
I'm trying, Pyro. I'm trying.
That final blow. Man, I'm just saying, there was quite a presence on the goal line, and there needs to be for Gaston. But how about that? Before we flip over, we will, after all, Novanta, get one.
Yeah, we're going over there to see what's going on between E. Smith A and Monroe High, and that could have been another goal, but the post gets the better of that. 3 minutes left to go in this game one. E. Smith A, we've seen a lot of them today. I wonder how they're going to adapt to yet another flavor of Rocket League.
Talk about challenge after challenge, right? And I mean, that's what you ask for when you play across 90 plus different high school North Carolina teams in the Rocket League scene. But man, E.E. Smith has not gotten an easy bout out of any of these matches, even against their B team earlier. But how about this? They'll get a gimme here with Alina Gomez all the way across the court.
Looks like we are their good luck charms, because as soon as the stream goes on them, you get one to call it back. Look, a 3-goal lead is kind of challenging. A 2-goal lead, that's light work. Let's see if E.E. Smith has what it takes to find themselves an equalizer in the offing. If you're Monroe High, though, you see the opportunities are still there. They're still abound. They're not completely snuffed out. You just got to be able to execute when you get that ball right from the net.
And honestly, after the first goal from E. Smith, I want to see some composure from Monroe A. I don't want them to kind of break down under the pressure, but there they are, team bumping each other. I see two of them kind of clumping together in this corner. It's not a good look for Monroe A if they want to keep a steady hand off of that initial goal for E. Smith. But granted, Monroe High, off of the team bumps, off of the bit of lackluster rotations, they're still able to work it back the other side.
You know, one time when I was about 17 years old, I went to a local arcade and I played a couple rounds of a fighting game. I got some tickets. I got 5 tickets at one time. I kept winning. I got 10 tickets, 30 tickets, 40 tickets. You go, well, how long can I go, right? How many tickets can I get? And I think that's what Monroe High is doing. It's like, hey, look, we have the 3-goal lead advantage. Let's keep playing as fast as we can. And even though they conceded one right there, as long as they keep themselves in the game, their head is on a swivel, you see how far their money can go.
And persistence pays off, and you know what? It just might get them another ticket to that goal line. It's coming close, though, and it's becoming a little bit harder to purchase because the defense is looking stronger and stronger for E.E. Smith. Even if they send 2 off some attacks, they're able to create a wall and deny that avenue to the net. However, Kev, strong touch off the side, follow there from Spook, just battles off the post. And Monroe High, yeah, they might just not have the credits to purchase this 4th goal.
Yeah, absolutely. But sometimes you gotta understand, it may not be all you need. But as we say that, on the post has other players, and a second time, that's just bad luck, unlucky, unfortunate, however you want to call it, because that one looked easy peasy.
It really did. That's one of those where you're scratching your head and you're thinking, how the heck did that not go in? They'll still get another chance, though. Monroe High, I mean, they are chomping at the bit. No matter how long we go in this game without them scoring a 4th, they just keep on giving it a go. Goalie bump there, but ZZ has just the touch needed to keep this 1-3 scoreline alive. 30 seconds to go, and E.E. Smith, they need a turnaround.
This is like anxiety-inducing. E.E. Smith, we saw how they can come behind, but they don't look like they're going to get the win here, and Monroe High has a convincing lead. Can they hold on to it? It really is kind of like, oh my gosh, edge of the seat action here, and it's only game 1.
And they do get it on the other side for a moment, but with it still pinballing back and forth, the ping pong does not allow for them to get another chance at a second goal. Monroe High, off their 3 goals that we didn't necessarily get to see, will get the win off of that. Game 1 they will advance with that lead in the series into game number 2. But it's up to us here, I think, to transition to our earlier match. We're back with Piedmont Charter and Gaston.
All about that momentum. You saw what Mono High goes. You see what Piedmont Charter needs to do to see if their fortunes would to be adapted in this one. 3-3 to go. No score. Shot on frame. That's knocked to the side. And while we're seeing a little bit more of those brazen, those courageous attempts on goal, no one's really shy anymore. No one's doing the boom and clear and waiting to see what happens. We're seeing everyone take it to the house. And that was another opportunity that could have gone in, but had other plans.
It was a golden opportunity because C-Force was right there with a wide open net, but could not find the delivering blow. The reason that net is getting open as well is because Jerry plays this permanent goalkeeper. And as soon as they're pushed out, it's usually a double commit on defense, and then the net is wide open. There it is again. They can't punch it through. The opportunity is certainly there, but they need that finishing factor to come through for Gaston.
You know what? I don't want to poo-poo on anyone's parade, and if it works out for Piedmont Charter, then all's well that ends well. But ultimately, having someone in net and having someone as a designated striker is definitely means well, but also will hurt you in the long run. Dynamic teams tend to win the day, and so far that's Gaston, in my opinion, despite the fact there's no score in this one.
I like how you give the little caveat. It's like, hey, you know what? If it does work, then fine, because the ball game is still tied. They are still surviving. But yeah, the writing's on the wall here as they've spent so much time defending. And if you are a good defender, that's great, but you don't necessarily want to play defense the whole game. Gonna be forced to, though, with this shot from XP, as just about everybody in the lobby is up for that ball. Racer Rave hoping to turn this around, though, for another shot chance as C-Force keeps it high into the danger zone, but it's Dino Nuggy to strike it away and ease the tensions a bit.
No, I'm with you. Like playing defense all game is, one, not fun, but two, those things do take a lot out of you. If you have to clear the ball on the line over time, you can actually measure your reaction time gets worse and worse over time while the ball's still in play without a reset there. So you gotta be able to take that ball, maybe a light first touch to draw the defense, to really start something with the second touch to give yourself a chance to go on offense, because being up against the wall is no bueno.
Yeah, by the way, it gets even tougher when no goals happen. They haven't even had a second to breathe with a break. There's been no goal replay with a 0-0 game. This is why overtimes get more and more tense the longer it goes on, because there hasn't been a score. There hasn't been a break. Players haven't gotten a chance to look away from the screen, so there might just be a blip in the play. There might just be a defender that doesn't make it back in time. For XP Waz, they get there just in the nick of time, but may it go against them on this play here. Dino Nuggy towards the net. Shot goes just wide.
Yeah, every once in a while I'm always down for a defensive classic, and high-scoring affairs. Hit parades are always good, but a 0-0 defensive back and forth where it comes down to who's going to make the first mistake, who is going to blink first, always makes you go, ooh, because that shows you command the game on that level. That means all those power slides, all those reads of your opponent, all those blocks on the line, they mean something, and it's so rewarding if you keep your opponents to 0 and you find a way to win afterwards.
C-Force big demolition and picks up that corner boost as well, but cannot get contact on the ball. It's now Racer Rave to make one stop, maybe even two. Stealing some boost. Racer Rave back on the ball, but where are you taking it? C-Force has it instead. Racer Rave using all their boost just to get every single touch on the ball to try and get control in this game, but it's so difficult when the chances are slim. Zeros across the board as we make it to OT.
Well, I could not predict this. If you give me a million chances, Piedmont Charter Gaston at a 0-0 overtime. Well, talk about sudden death. That's exactly what it is right now. Gaston EC looked to be the one to have a bit of an edge, but I've been wrong before, especially tonight on stream. So let's see who has the one to get the wherewithal to get the goal past the net.
Man, interesting strategy as well for Gaston. Racer Rave was the third man back, and instead of attacking the ball where they could have, they decided to play defense instead. You'll see this from teams in sudden death all the time, but you won't see misses like that too often. That was almost a singular mistake that could have led to a game 3 between Piedmont Charter and Gaston, but Gaston back in the driver's seat with this possession.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the next day, Thursday implications, seating implications were on the line here, but it's almost a minute in that overtime period. We haven't anyone with nary a score, but we've seen a lot of attempts. That ball just hanging out by that Piedmont Charter net, kind of precariously. Shot on frame here, brought down, and Racer Rave is the difference maker.
There had to have been a reason why Racer Rave was gobbling up boost and taking air dribble after air dribble while it finally sorted itself out. Racer Rave, do not deny this player given the space, the time, and the success given. Gaston win in game number 2 and do indeed earn that extra better seeding for Thursday's gameplay.
Well, that one there took a little bit longer than anyone would have saw coming, but ultimately it was effective. So what we saw was a bit of that log jam right in front of net. A lot of people were having problems with that on the run of play. So the answer was taken to the skies. Aerial stuff went under moderation, and then when it's least expected is effective in spades. That's what happened right there.
Man, I still can't believe we got to that 0-0 format, though. I mean, that was the first time we saw that today, Novanta. That takes grit. That takes determination from players to play the whole 5 minutes. I think back to when I had like a 4-minute overtime recently, and my heart was palpitating. I was sweating from the brow. I could barely see straight. I was feeling dizzy.
Yeah, a lot of casual players don't really realize, especially at tournament play and competitive play, how valuable that 10 seconds or so when the ball is reset for you to clear your head, to get the sweat off of your hands, to think about what your plan of attack is. So when you don't have that, when the entire game has been no score at all, it really comes down to mental fortitude. Who gets wear down quicker than their opponent to make sure they can have the winner there. So it was definitely their match. They earned it, but it really was a mental challenge.
It was a mental challenge, especially towards the end of today's gameplay. To have that perseverance, to still have the energy to outlast a long game like that is impressive. Let's see who's the more impressive of the field, though, as we take to game number 2 between EE Smith A, who did suffer a loss in game 1 against Monroe High.
I mean, I think suffer is the right word, right? Because it looked like they had, going into this matchup, all the advantages in the world. They were hot. They were on stream. They saw them play different kind of modes and team makeups. I thought they had it in the bag, but Monroe High found a way to put a hole in that bag and has series point with the advantage. 20 seconds a lap here, still no score, but I really doubt it's going to be a 0-0 overtime when it's all said and done.
Yeah, because we hopped into game number 1 with already Monroe High having scored a majority of their goals. So I'm excited to see really what the finishing factor is for Monroe High, who their strikers are, and how they get these goals to go. I guess the answer is in Spook's approach to the net.
Well, here's all the hard work done by being Spooks, right? You go past one defender, everyone's kind of behind, gets stopped at the line, but it goes the right direction for the slot in there by its Kevin. So, trusting your opponent, trusting your teammate, and trusting the position of your teammate has got that goal manufactured.
Hey, sometimes you do have to trust your opponent to not get the right 50-50. Sometimes it's like, all right, I'm trusting you to let me beat you on this. And with that confidence comes a good look, especially this one for Kev. Hold on off the backboard with a read. Could get a goal. It's off the crossbar. It's about as close as it could get. Kev almost a pop-off play to put Monroe High up 2, but a second chance will earn him just that.
Yeah, for a second there, I thought the crossbar was going to go into business for themselves, as it always do. Spook did a smart play there, didn't try to rotate back, went to the corner, because really is kind of rolling the dice there where that ball's going to pop up with the opposite direction, brought down, and now that scoreline has been doubled. Monroe High has a lead now, much like game 1, but let's see what they do to extend it going forward.
Yeah, it's got to be that extension from Monroe High, because we've already seen plenty from EE Smith's A squad and what they can do to stick around in tough series like this. Everybody working at their best as a team effort. This EE Smith squad, very much a sum of their parts type team, with ZZ, I would argue, leading the effort a lot of the time, but especially with a flick play like that and a doink towards the net. But it really does take everybody to get these goals to go, especially Divian and Alina Gomez striking towards the net. Not finding a goal that time around. Gomez on an open net cannot turn it into the goal. That is devastating.
Yeah, that was kind of an interesting play there from Monroe High. Everyone kind of went up and had a bit of a defensive wall, which is definitely a good tool to have, but in doing so, your clear has to be very strong to give people time to reset. It was weak. EE Smith A didn't have time to capitalize. That was their best opportunity to get on the board. Didn't happen there, but a very rare mistake from the Monroe High defense.
Oh, rare and difficult to continue off of, but There's no option. The controller's in your hands, or if you're keyboard mouse, fair enough to you. And you've got to play out this final half of the game, and you got to play your best, as this could be the final one of the day. This is Spook with a chance at the net. It's not necessarily what's on target, and some cars are colliding with each other just to slow down the play. Maybe to give Monroe High another chance at that possession. They'll certainly get one from Spook. Shot there, and Divian saves it high for ZZ to try and clear.
Look, I'm sorry. If you're a KBM player in Rocket League, bless your heart, because that is really hard. But that goal over there was really easy for Monroe High. That's number 3 there. Look at this rocket from the corner once more. It seems to be their bread and butter. It's Kev over down there, slotted in.
Wow, what a pinball effort as well, because everyone wanted a piece of that ball, and I guess it was just Monroe High that got the last laugh. They move on with a 3-goal lead. And I'll tell you what, Novanta, as somebody who grew up as a console gamer, I couldn't agree with you more. If you're doing KBM with a rocket car game, what are you doing in the first place?
Yeah, absolutely. I just seems like a lot of extra work there, but a lot of extra work has to be on EE Smith's side. You know, looks like game 1, being down by 3 goals, they got one back and got themselves in the game, but I really feel like they were pretty much themselves since coming into this series. Monroe High has been basically, as they say, pecking to death, right? Kicking goals here, left and right. So much low impact goals, but goals nonetheless. And that's number 4. Spook says, you know what? We're going to keep doing what works for us. This is our secret sauce.
It really is. I think Spook is one to not rush attacks. I mean, you can see how slowly that ball rolled in. Alina Gomez very close to working that out of their net. But you know what? It was enough. And sometimes that's what's necessary in Rocket League, so as to not overexert yourself, so as to not play too quickly so that you make mistakes. Instead, Spook sticking to the fundamentals and making them work.
Yeah, I mean, fundamentals are great. Bronze mechanics are mechanics nonetheless. But you be a defender, you have to make sure it's in there. And that's way more important than being fancy. Spooks right on the button. Number 5. And this one's getting out of hand here for E. Smith A. They're down by that nickel.
Yeah, how about it? I mean, this was somewhere in the series where, you know, we believed in EE Smith A from every game we have witnessed from them on the broadcast today so far. But when you have a team like Monroe High that is, I would agree, such a stable team, so strong on those more normal plays. And what a pass as well from Spook. I mean, it's not just the shots, it's the passes, it's the coordination. So much works well for this Monroe High squad that is dedicated to working as a team.
Hey, you know, I'm probably dating myself here, but I was a big fan of the big fundamental in basketball, Tim Duncan. So good at what he does, multiple time champion, but was never the flashiest guy on the court. Wasn't even the most flashiest guy in the stands when it comes down to it, but that's how you get dubs, right? You go to small impact goals, you run up the score, you take your opponent out of it, and then you walk away with dubs. And if this scoreline holds, it will be another dub from Monroe High.
It's getting there. A fun story in the summer basketball camps. They called me Fundies because a layup was the only shot I could hit. Not too proud of that one, but I still stick to it. Fundamentals, they're important, and I'll drive through for Spook here. It's just a kick from the midfield. All the work was already done to put EE Smith out of the way.
Well, much like giving the Pyro J the ball at the three-point line and saying shoot it, he takes for a layup. This one here's the opposite. This one here was a banger slotted in there. That's number 6. Unanswered from Monroe High.
Unanswered indeed. That is going to be a wrap on this series. Well done from Monroe High to stick to this consistent effort the whole way through. EE Smith, I think they still have a bright future ahead of them, but heading up against these strong teams like what we saw from the orange side, it's just too much. We're going to keep the ball up just for a formality here at the end of Rocket League. You got to respect the players for staying true to the culture, but eventually it'll hit the ground. Monroe High officially with their victory.
Formality, hot takes, that's the true rule one, but that's not the issue for the time. Monroe High walks away the dub in straight sets, and that one, to me, was my favorite series of the night because a good team just got better in real time.
I was trying to not do the hot take by saying rule 1 or rule 2, Novant, or else we'd have the pitchforks coming out, you know what I mean? But hey, we've kept our cool throughout the broadcast. I think we can do it to the end as well. Awesome matches today that we got to witness here from VESL. Big shout out to all the high school players who have been putting in the work all week long here from North Carolina. It has been 3 straight days for them, and now that we've concluded the group stages, Novanta, Each of these 25 groups, I believe, of about 4 teams, one of them will not make it, but the 3 from each group will. They have even more tournament action to play through this coming days of the week.
Yeah, absolutely. How cool is that? You and the squad get together representing your school. You get your friends and family in the chat cheering you on, and now you have a chance for greatness, representing your school, representing your state. I can't wait. So glad to be part of the action here today.
Couldn't have been prouder to do it alongside of you, Novanta. My name's been Pyro J, and Blasky's been behind the scenes on the production work. But we've had a great time here on one of the streams here for the VESL action. Don't forget to drop that follow if you want to catch more of the action this week. We'll be live tomorrow and the next day, and as well on VESL GG. So those are the 2 channels to watch here for this Season 2 League action. It's been our pleasure giving you that Rocket League action, and we'll see you tomorrow as well.